Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. Happy Libations Friday, loosey-goosey edition of the program. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always, don't miss anything. If you do miss something, we got you covered all 3 hours. I can speak. To be posted upon the conclusion of the program on iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can always email the show if you like. JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. Good mood. Going to be a good day, man. I'm so happy with this coaching staff. I wish they wouldn't play a game. I mean, I need them to play a game because I can't wait for football to start, but they've done everything right. We got us a guy who loves the school like we love the school, man. Every day there's another revelation where you're like, yeah, that's what you do right there, coach. That's what you do right. You're damn right. We're playing the fight song. We're singing the fight song. That's what we do. Yeah.
We're also fighting. That's what we're going to do.
Well, that's cool too, man. Getting after it at practice, and you had guys literally fight and have to hold hands as they walked off the field.
That was a fight now. I mean, you know.
I told you the story. My coach made me do that in high school. I got into a huge fight with a guy during a scrimmage, and we ended up having to – well, first of all, we had to run the rest of practice, and then we had to come back, and then as the team left the field, we had to hold hands.
Oh, there you go.
It's ridiculous. But you get it, you know.
Yeah, you message received, right? Mm-hmm. It was I forget which two players, Trey Lawson and somebody else, but the coaches were running over to separate the thing, and it was two giant men going at it. And what was funny was one of the coaches intervened, got his hands in between them, and I think he might have grazed one of the players with his elbow or something. The kid just went down, not in a heap. It was almost like he was milking it. But it was just a really weird event.
Just a weird, yeah.
Well, it just happens out of nowhere. So you're watching the scrimmage play, and or the 11-on-11, and I'm talking with one of the members of the beat, and then the next thing you know, you hear beep, 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 and you hear kids yelling. And that's what happens, though. That's what fall camp is all about. If you're not fighting at some point, that means that you're not trying hard enough to one-up the other guy.
Yeah, it's all things that you want to see out of a camp, out of a coaching staff, out of a school, out of your program. So far, so good in the start of camp this week. That's what this week has all added up to. It has mirrored that of the entire offseason. Everything has gone according to plan. Things have gone exceedingly well. You really could not ask for anything more. Everything from coaches' interviews on Sunday that we went to the first practice through this week, and now we won't see it. Now we go a week without it, and that's tough. But again, there's an expectation in doing that as well. There's a strategic reason behind going to IMG, and we'll see if they reap the benefits or not. I don't know if they will or not, but so far I'm going to trust that these moves, these decisions that Willie has made, which have been all home runs, so far so good. I just hope they win games. I've said it time and again. I really want this group to succeed. Corey and I were talking about this, and I think a lot of Florida State fans have, but we were talking about it on headlines, and Tom, you and I have talked about it here. When you meet guys and you like them and you like their families and you like who they are as men, and then you watch the way they interact with the kids, and you can tell there's a genuine love for those kids and wanting to see them succeed and do well. It's easy they become endearing, and it's easy to root for them. It's just, human nature. But it is certainly not lost on me that all of that is well and good, and I know we've talked about it ad nauseum, and I'm sure there are a number of people who drive around rolling their eyes at this point because we begin another show with heaping praise about PR moves or good decisions that really pull at the heartstrings of Noles everywhere, and that's all well and good. Can you win some football games? And there's a big we'll see out there. Of course there is until there isn't, until you play a game, until you go through a season. I got it. But, man, every day another reason to smile.
To focus on the positive, if they do win games, this group will be embraced. This season especially. But this group will be embraced in a way that will make Doak raucous, even for the lighter home games on this year's schedule. You go back to the spring game. 60+ thousand people. 60+ thousand people. That's unheard of around here.
I took that picture from there in the Champions Club, and I remember I sent it to you. I tweeted it out, whatever it was. But, I mean, I marveled at that. I couldn't believe what I was looking at there. And, you know, I thought, I've never seen this, anything close to it. And, of course, the lap around the stadium slapping five with fans was just the beginning. You know, Willie's out there high-fiving it and having a blast. I think you're right. I do think football's changed, though. I'm not sure Samford or, well, you know, I mean, Samford, that's a toughie. You're talking about 5 days after playing Virginia Tech on a Monday night. You're turning around to have a normal Saturday game. That's a tough one.
Well, I don't know about the season ticket holders, but, you know, I would think the vast majority of people who showed up to the spring game were locals.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I think
walk-up audience there, yeah.
People will walk up and come see the product because they believe in it. They believe in the energy, and I hear it too. You know, as I'm saying, I'm like, oh, throw up all over yourself, man, for this guy. Jimbo won 29 in a row. People were excited for that too. Yes, absolutely.
But we celebrated that in the time. I mean,
absolutely, we did.
Do both.
This will have just that little bit extra of a human connection if they do succeed. If they don't know, then we're going to have to start over and find another guy. Maybe we're going to want a taskmaster at that point. But, you know, for now, if they do succeed, it's going to have a little bit more heart and soul to it.
It won't detract from all that's happened. I mean, it will be disappointing if it doesn't happen, if they're not able to win a lot of games. Yes, that matters. That's what you're ultimately graded on. But we will never, I don't think, look at it, even if it doesn't work out to the end that they got to go, where we get to that year 3, year 4, and I'm looking at you going, man, this ain't getting it done here. You know, even if that happens, and by the way, I don't think that's going to happen, but even if it does, we'll still say, good on you for all of that, man. It was the right thing. I've been longing for that. I've been longing for us to embrace some of the traditions I see around college football that I always thought were uniquely collegial and apt and right, which is the band playing for the fans after the game, going over to, the players going over to the band section and then playing the fight song or the alma mater, doing something like that. I've always loved that. I know it's cheesy and I know it's very collegial, but that's what college athletics is.
Well, for those of you who don't know, after victories now, the players will assemble in front of the band.
I should probably mention that, right?
And they will play the fight song. And the players have memorized, or they're being tasked with memorizing the fight song. So it's not the alma mater yet. Willie said, we'll see.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Let's get them to memorize this part of it first.
I don't care, by the way. You can do either one. You don't have to do the alma mater. I don't care.
I like the alma mater.
I do too, but I'm saying just this is a big step in embracing, again, some of these college traditions that I've always thought were great.
So after wins, even if we're up, 50-10, stick around. We can all sing together after the game's over. There you go.
I suppose. I don't know that that's going to happen either. I like it, but I don't think that's happening. If we're up 58-3 in the fourth quarter against Stanford, you go and take it on to the house. It's all right. Just know that they're going to sing for those who do stay. So, I mean,
what's the sliding scale to stay?
I got you. My sliding scale has changed a lot over the years. I always have to watch the game multiple times before I come in on a Monday. So do you. So we have the game live that we're watching when we're in attendance, right? And then there is the breakdown of the game on a Sunday, let's say. Sometimes I do that Sunday morning before the NFL gets started. Now, my schedule is going to change. It was always such that I needed to see that immediately because I was going to be talking to Jimbo Fisher that evening.
Sunday evening, yeah.
Sunday evening. And it was always a kind of a moving target, annoyingly so. And, I didn't know if I was going to talk to him at 5 or if I was going to talk to him at 8. But I needed to see that game again and make my notes in addition to whatever I was making the first go-around. And that all was dependent on whether I went as a fan or as I went as a journalist or as I went as a, an analyst or whatever, or as a talk show host. And so I'd go back in and look at these closely. If I'm sitting in the stands with my dad and it's just time to cheer, that's a very different way of viewing a game as opposed to really breaking down the segments that are faltering or the strengths.
Or if you had a watch party or something along those lines.
Right,
if you miss something, it's not the end of the world. You know that we're not on the air unless – that's the hard part is when you have like a Thursday night or in the case
Monday
of the opener,
night,
a Monday night game.
Be on the air the next day.
I mean, you better get the most out of the viewing experience that you possibly can. But if it's on a Saturday and we're not on the air till a Monday, if I miss, something about a play, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to catch it later.
You'd always go back and rewatch the game, sometimes twice, so that you could come in and ask informed questions to Jimbo. And I really especially wanted to do that. Obviously, his depth of knowledge about football strategy and the playbook is legendary, and I didn't want to misstep there, and so I wanted to ask informed questions, and I'll still want to do that. But I'm going to be talking to Willie Monday mornings at 8 a.m., and I'm tempted to try to see if I can do some of those there in his office, actually. And so there's some things to iron out with all of this. But anyhow, I am going to still get to talk to the head coach, which is a good thing. And I feel it's freeing to know Sundays are free now, to be able to watch the Bucks, who played last night. And by the way, Fitz and Jameis looked really good. But I think the idea of going back at your leisure and watching that, and then being able to sit across from him and ask these questions. Anyhow, the point would be it's you're always going to watch the game again. So my scale has changed as to when the hell I leave a game. I'm going to see it 2 and 3 times regardless. If we're up by 40 in the third quarter and there's a big game about to start in 30 minutes elsewhere that we also need to know an awful lot about, because we talk about all of college football, and then I leave. And especially if it's Samford or if it's freaking Northern Illinois. I mean, who am I kidding?
Man, I'm following the tendencies of my generation. If the game isn't a headliner and there are 3 or 4 headliners,
you don't even go then, right?
I'll watch them all at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to care mostly about our game, but, if it's
you're also going to watch it again.
Well, I mean, if we have a replay review for a targeting call or some nonsense like that, a quarter break that takes 4.5 minutes between snaps, well, guess what I'm doing in those 4.5 minutes? I'm watching Ohio State, Wisconsin, or whatever the hell the main event game is. But if it's obviously a heavyweight fight or a game that's special, even if there were concurrent games on Monday night, Labor Day, 2 hours, I'd still go to ours, because that atmosphere
is going to be incredible.
That's going to be something that we're going to remember for years, I think.
That buzz has been, here with us for weeks as we've moved closer to this game actually being a reality. I do. It's a little bit like the spring game in the sense that people wanted to come out and say thank you. They wanted to say, whew, last year was tough. Thanks for being you, man. Thanks for embracing this university. Thanks for caring about it the way we do. That's what that was, right? Welcome in, man, and let's go get it. And this will be an extension of that. A lot of people will be you know what? We want to thank you for doing what you've done here to embrace the traditions and the history, under recognizing this program's cachet, its former players, its traditions, its fans. Thank you for doing that. Now go win some games.
Now go win this one in particular, too.
Well, I have taken the time to occasionally take a step back and think, because here's the deal. I like them to win this first game, and I do think that Florida State's going to surprise a lot of people this year. I really do. In the sense that I've said before that I think they're going to surpass the Vegas win total. That doesn't mean they're going to go 11-1. It doesn't mean that I think they're going to go 11-1 or 10-2 even. But I think that there's a good chance they could win 9 games here. And I think if things go right and you win the road Miami game in particular, you could win 10 games, yes. But I'm not so emboldened by this great start to practice and all that's happened in the offseason and the woeful day in, day out problems that Virginia Tech has faced with their roster, their lineup, in particular on defense, to assume that we coast the way that a lot of us, I think, are now positioning this game. Because I do know that, listen, game one with an entirely new system against a really, really crafty and always entertaining Bud Foster-led defense can lead to real problems. And if it does, and you turn the football over and doubt creeps in, who knows? And he'll ratchet up pressure from all over the place. And so we'll see. Now, again, I understand it's a football game. Things can happen. You can, if I'm betting on Florida State to win, and I think has a chance to maybe really overwhelm a Virginia Tech team that is just getting some kids playing time for the first time in their careers in pretty key positions on the road at night in Joe Campbell. That's less than ideal. I got it. So I like Florida State, but I'm not going to assume that it's a landslide victory, because I do have a lot of respect for Bud Foster.
Well, and Justin Fuente is a respected offensive mind in his own regard, and at least from a quarterback's perspective and the veterans that do hold over from year to year, Virginia Tech played in a lot of raucous atmospheres last season. It's been a broken record about this, but it makes a difference. if you're a quarterback and you're playing in your first prime time environment on the road and it's a nasty atmosphere and it's energetic, and obviously as a quarterback on the road, you're dealing with all the crowd noise. That's an experience in and of itself. See Blackman James up at Clemson this past year. It can get away from you in a hurry, but Josh Jackson has seen that, and Virginia Tech's leaders have seen that, and obviously you would put up that staff and their ability to game plan with anybody in the ACC. They just don't have the horses that a Clemson does or Florida State at its peak does. But from a game planning standpoint, they're as respected as any in the conference.
Well, you'll get to hear from Josh Jackson. I interviewed him at the ACC meetings, and we'll play that interview the week of the game. I can't wait to play that interview because I think he came across great. I mean, he's a likable young man and a good head on his shoulders. Admittedly, I came away from that interview impressed because going in, I didn't know what to expect. All I knew about the young man was that he played admirably in his first year for Fuente and that he had a great first half of the season and a little bit rougher second half of the season, and I wanted to ask him about that, and I was thinking of delicate ways to do so. Luckily, I found out pretty quickly he's a confident young man that can handle any kind of question, so I came straight at him with it. But also, when you read that he almost was dismissed from the university and there were concerns academically, then I wondered what kind of kid was he? Was he a rebellious kid who wasn't rounding into form as a college athlete, or was he a guy that said screw class, or what kind of kid was he? And he turns out to be terribly bright. I don't know what the problem was, but I don't know how it could have been academics, because he's a smart kid and seems to love Virginia Tech and was really confident about what they were capable of. But the thing I liked about him, too, by the way, was that he talked about at length how much he couldn't wait to see Osceola come out on Renegade. And he said it specifically, oh, man, that's a great college tradition. He goes, I think we have one at Virginia Tech, but I love what you guys do at Florida State. I can't wait. I hope they let us out of the tunnel so I can see it. I thought that was cool. That's quite the opposite of what you would expect for a kid preparing for a game of this magnitude.
Yeah,
right?
You want your kid to embrace it. 2013 Clemson, one of the biggest road victories ever in this program's history.
And when we walked out of that tunnel, that's one of my favorite moments when you go back and watch the montage video that somebody made. Yes, my voice is on it, but that is neither here nor there, Tom.
You could just watch the game replay and it has the same thing.
Or you could watch the montage video.
I see. So there is a line there where the montage comes into play.
The narration's so good. But the thing is that when they walk out of that tunnel, man, and it's awesome because Wilder is as confident as there is, and he's doing the pose, but you see Jimbo as locked in. That was good Jimbo there. That is locked in, ready for battle. We're about to whoop your ass, Jimbo. And that's the best kind of Jimbo. We didn't see enough of it consistently, but that was one of my favorite moments because it's in his eyes. And he's looking at that playbook, and the dap happens, and it's like, these people don't know what's about to go down here.
They're embracing that moment, are they not?
That's what you're alluding to. Yes, They could not wait to take the field, and it was incredible to see. They were brimming with confidence, and it will be fascinating to watch this year, for example, as these guys come off that season that they just had a year ago, and you have so many opportunities to gauge whether that confidence is there or not. And in large part, that will stem from getting wins and playing well. But when you go to Miami, and I talked to our friend Lee Sterling, when you go to Miami, that's a defense that'll be ready. That's a team that obviously is emboldened by their win a year ago. How do we come out of the tunnel there? How do we play? What do we look like there? And, of course, you have that chance at Notre Dame, et cetera. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely zero-turn mowers.
Tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Here, do you need headsets?
I don't need no stinking headsets.
Well, then go. Come on, man.
All right. Hi there, Tallahassee. You know me. This is Eddie. You know, I have other restaurants in this town, Gordo's, Banditos. Well, I opened up something new. It's called Bumpa's Local 349. You may ask, what is Bumpa's Local 349? It was named after my grandfather, Bumpa. It's what we called him. Best man I ever knew. And the Local 349 was his union. And I try to bring this local flavor, this local flair of Tallahassee. I want to bring it to you, locally owned and operated. Warm, good food.
Good Lord, man, we're getting all weepy up in here. It's a cool sports pub. It's got TVs everywhere. You got every package. You got a gazillion kinds of beers and delicious food and a deck. We don't need to weep up in here. Come on, Eddie.
And we have 16 local Florida taps. Great craft beer just for you. And the best bologna sandwich you'll ever eat. It's like you just won the lotto. As Bumpa said, no matter how you cut it, it's still bologna.
Bumpa's Local 349, 2738 Capitol Circle Northeast.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. I've been telling you that Kraft Nissan is your new tire headquarters, and now through September 30th, buy 3 tires and get the 4th one for $1. We're talking Goodyear, Bridgestone, Continental, Kumho, and more. Plus, all tires come with free lifetime rotations. Kraft Nissan gives you 2 years road hazard protection on your new tires at no charge. I'm telling you, we beat the box stores and we beat the tire stores. And we back it up with the Kraft price guarantee. We beat any competitor's written or advertised price. Also, for a limited time with our express service, 5-quart conventional oil change with free tire rotations for only $36.95. And full synthetic oil for just $46.95. And no appointments are necessary. Plus, don't forget, you can check out all our service specials by opening our service special tab at craftnissan.com. So if you're tired of driving across town for service, want the very best factory certified technicians, come to Kraft Nissan. We service all makes and models. And we want to be your one-stop dealer for all your automotive needs. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Are you tired of getting the same 2-piece kits? Cornerstone Tool & Fastener and DeWalt have your answer. Buy a 1/4-inch 3-speed impact kit with 2 4-amp-hour batteries and receive a free 1/4-inch 3-speed impact kit. That's correct. You get 2 DeWalt 3-speed impact kits for the price of 1, only at Cornerstone Tool & Fastener. While you're there, check out the power of freedom. FlexVolt 60-volt tools from chainsaws to string trimmers, blowers, and even compressors. Cornerstone has the largest DeWalt selection in Tallahassee. 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hello. Get you a good pillow. Go to mypillow.com. 50% off right now. Click on the 4-pack special. Enter the promo code 979ESPN. You'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows for half off. Go to mypillow.com. 4-pack special. Enter promo code 979ESPN. By the way, that number, 800-944-6596. Preseason football abounds last night. Some pretty good starts for some rookie quarterbacks. Also, if you listen to the Bucks right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio, remember we're the home for the Bucks this season. My man T. Lizzie had to stay late because the liners weren't firing right or something like that, but you were there working the board, so I can just tell you, by the way, if you've had a chance to go back and watch this, Fitz played well, Jameis played well, it's preseason, I got you, but it sounded great.
Yes, it did. It did sound quite good.
Yeah.
Old school board hopping, man. You know, that's the root of all radio, isn't it?
Yeah, the back in the day board hopping would occur. I'll just give you all a peek behind the curtain. The way board ops work is they usually drink.
That did not take place last night.
No, I know it didn't last night. It could not. But I'm just saying that's the way, because board hopping is tedious. It's boring. Kind of sucks. I haven't had to board up in years.
You know, I did come back to the office one night years ago after this is the old place of employment.
Yes.
And it was after a game, but I was returning a van, or maybe it was a remote. And it was
in those days, we were frequently returning the van. Yeah.
Right. This was probably like the X van or whatever. So I get back and I hear a commotion down the hall at one of the studios. And so I walk into one of the studios, and 2 of the former bosses at that establishment were having a grand old time as one of them was board hopping.
That's the way the world
they
worked
were having
back
a
then,
they were having a pizza party with
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Little
grown
something,
men with a pizza party and a little something. And they had the TV on. They were just kicking back. I was stunned that they were actually firing the brakes off in time because you could not hear the actual broadcast.
Well, I mean, this is, look, man, board hopping, that's what you did. It just was, it's a tough road to hoe there, the board hopping. But you did it last night, a return to form, old school, and now everything, the relays are good.
Yeah,
everything's all right now.
By about the third quarter, yeah, everything was okay. I have something for you, unrelated, but it is kind of a breaking news Jeff Cameron style thing.
Okay.
I think Phil Mickelson might be coloring his hair.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well,
something to investigate. It's got a copper tint to it today that looks a little interesting.
Like not a natural color.
Like
this is what happens when people color their hair. It's often not a natural color. It's a dead giveaway. And oh, by the way, Phil has been attempting for some time. My wife pointed this out. She's not quite as in tune with guys that are faking it with the hair as I am, but she knows that I am ever diligent in my efforts to point him out, much to her chagrin and embarrassment, because we'll be in public like, look at that. Look at that guy. He looks ridiculous.
And it'll be a questionable volume.
Oh,
I've been there. Jeez, man.
I'm like, who is he kidding?
If he's got my hearing, he heard that.
Who does that guy think he's fooling? Look at that. It's ridiculous, sir. Anyhow, so I'll do that. She'll go, Jeff, look at him. That's ridiculous. So that's how this goes. Well, we were watching golf not long ago, and I'll update you here in a second, on the PGA Championship. And she goes, oh, what is Phil doing? But he had the visor on, right? But, he fancies himself growing it long.
That's what he's doing right now.
He tries to keep it long.
Yeah.
He's living a lie. He's trying to grow it long because he thinks this is the last hurrah. I'm going to grow it out here. Maybe I can move it around a little bit, maneuver it in such a way that you don't see. I'm straight up going bald right down the middle. He's going bald down the middle.
Yeah.
Now, I am especially sensitive to that because I have hair. Oh, I got mounds of hair around the sides. If you're watching on YouTube, I got hair around the sides without a problem. And I've got a little patch up front right there.
So you'd have Hair Island.
I would have Hair Island.
Man, Halloween costume 2018.
Yeah, I have more hair than Jimbo. Well, the Jimbo that before he got the weave.
Will you please do Hair Island and grow it out
you want
for
me to
Halloween
grow it out?
2018?
I could try to do that.
Oh, buddy, that would go viral. People would love it.
Okay, so I don't know. I haven't done it in a long time. I mean, I keep it, I shave it once every 3 days. But
I could see it.
You could see.
You could pull it off.
So I got a lot of hair here, and then on the top and the front, Like if you couldn't see from above me, if you weren't taller than me or you weren't looking from the back, you'd think, oh, he's got hair. He's, I'd be able to spike this little patch in the front a little bit, group it together with a little mousse or something, Tom. And then on the sides, it's nice and dark and it's full on the sides. But then there's this strip that is just like a runway down the middle of my head that goes into an open field. It's just a big landing spot. And so it would look ridiculous. And once I recognized that, I started shaving it years ago. That was the end of that. We tried as best we could. We spiked it for a while, and then that was the end of the day. Phil is on the cusp. Now, he's got a lot of hair right now compared to a guy like me or Jimbo.
Sure.
But it's imminent. It's going away. And he's in desperation mode. And so one of the things guys do when they're in that desperation mode is, A, they grow it out, like he's trying to do here, like, oh, I can play with it and move it around a little bit. Nobody will know. I'll put a visor on. You really have no chance to know because it looks like it's flopping over. Oh, look at the mounds of hair I got. But then if you color it, you can kind of avoid that spot. But they don't realize it makes it worse. A, it draws attention to it because you go, something's off.
Yeah.
Even if you're not sure that is somebody coloring a hair, a non-natural hair color will cause you to do a double take.
Yeah.
So when you see that, you go, oh, what's going on with Phil's hair there? Is that the light? No, what's going? So now you're really focusing on the area.
Boom. This is where I'm at. When I said the definitive statement about we may need to investigate this, I thought maybe it was the light. I don't think it was the light, though,
yeah,
man.
See, you got you. Now all you're going to do every time you see Phil is lock in. You're going to zero in right away.
They have yet to show him after the last putty hit, and I'm looking over every 10 seconds to get more evidence here.
Oh, I think you have the evidence you need, sir.
Suspicion itself in this case
Your
is the
spidey
evidence.
senses went off, and that is usually a good indicator there is something amiss. Something has gone awry with the natural color of one's hair. People don't have rust-colored hair.
Yeah.
They just don't.
It looks like a Vokey wedge, to use a golf analogy.
There it is. And, again, remember when Mike Patrick went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs in the booth.
I think my mic was on.
Mike Patrick, buddy, is a perfect example of a guy who is just desperately holding on. And those things, that became the color of the rainbow. I mean, every time I was, what is this? This is a mess. You tried to do this. It didn't work. You went back in and said, can you fix it, please? There were women all around the country that could relate to the poor saga of Mike Patrick because they had their hair colored and it didn't turn out to look natural. So they had to go back in and they said, well, can we redo this here? Now all of a sudden you got layers on layers of color. Nothing looks right.
Right. Yeah, it would change colors when John Shire would make a 3.
Brooks Koepka, Florida State's own, with a fine round, to say the least, as he drops a 63 at the PGA Championship to move into the top 5, top 3 exactly for now. Of course, they're on the course, so we'll see if anybody comes soaring up the leaderboard to supplant him further down the list here. But this weekend is setting up nicely. It's Gary Woodland who went into the clubhouse with the lead at 64-66. It's a hell of a backing up a good round day for Gary Woodland.
Yes, sir.
He's at 10 under. Kevin Kisner, who's had a great year, is 9 under. He has frequently been in contention in majors this year. He's also frequently disappeared on Sunday. Brooks Koepka with the 63, the aforementioned 63. Dustin Johnson, his buddy, workout partner, friend, neighbor, number 1 player in the world. Or currently 2, actually. Didn't Justin Thomas take it back over?
I think Thomas took it over, yeah.
Anyhow, Dustin's number 4 so far at 7 under. So we will keep you posted here a little bit on and off. I won't do much as we get closer towards the end of the show because you guys kind of want to get home and see it. I understand that. Adam Scott, look at him with a 65 today. It's good to see.
Well, and if you are the kind of guy or lady who watches golf and you say, how's Tiger doing? Because that will determine whether or not I tune in. Well, you might want to leave work a little early today. Through 3 holes, he's made 2 birdies, and he just hit a sweeping left-to-right controlled slice, if you will, out of the rough to a 500-yard par 4, and he's got a 25-footer, 30-footer for birdie. So there you go.
Up 17 spots already at 2 under for the day. Began the day even. If he can put together a 5-6 under round going into the weekend, you'd have an outside shot. At that point, you're 4 or 5 strokes back. Maybe moving day treats him well, and you see something special. The potential for a touch of class atop this leaderboard as you enter the weekend is really there. You need him or Justin Thomas or one of these other guys that are in the mix here to have a great round and move into that -5, -6 range as we go into a Saturday, assuming 10 is going to remain the lead. Because if that happens, you're talking about a leaderboard that would feature, of course, Brooks Koepka, Florida State's Brooks Koepka, who won the U.S. Open this year, vying for yet another major here. Dustin Johnson, Adam Scott, John Rahm has played really well, 68, 67 so far. Ricky Fowler, of course, chasing his first major. Tom's favorite player, Pat Perez. I just snuck that in there.
He's
Justin
at
Rose
5 on the course right now, right?
He's playing well. Justin Rose, Zach Johnson, Jordan Spieth has had a good day, shot a 66 today to get back in the mix. He's in the top 20, moved up 42 spots today with that 66. It's a good leaderboard. It's potential to have a great leaderboard. We need Jason Day to get going here, and we'll see what he ends up doing. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely zero-turn mowers.
We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-298-5783. 800-298-5783. 800-298-5783. That's 800-298-5783.
At CarMax, when we say we buy all the cars, we mean it. Over the last 20 years, we've purchased millions of cars from coast to coast. In the last year alone, we bought a mountain of Mercurys, an armada of Nissans, a ton of Titans, an ocean of Pacificas, and a sea of Siennas. Not to mention a few Hellcats and a couple of Tornadoes. So no matter what you're selling, CarMax is buying. And we'll buy your car even if you don't buy ours. CarMax, we buy all the cars.
With the Bloomberg Business of Sports Report, I'm Michael Barr. The NCAA is breaking with history and now allowing college basketball players to sign with agents to help explore their pro prospects. The reforms are part of a wider set of changes by the NCAA Board of Governors, amid a federal fraud investigation of college basketball agents and managers filtering money to athletes. The new rules take effect immediately and could later apply to high school players. Adidas posted second quarter revenue and profit that beat analysts' expectations, lifted by sales of soccer merchandise and growth in the U.S. and Asia. Meanwhile, for all the dads out there, there is a shoe for you. They're called dad shoes, and Adidas says that the trend is the latest thing for sneaker fans. The shoe is really a chunkier version of the designs from the 80s and 90s. And that is a Bloomberg Business of Sports report. I'm Michael Barr. Brought to you by Grainger. For safety and industrial supplies, Grainger's got your back. Visit Grainger.com.
I used to leave voicemails for myself because the only one I could trust to get something done right was me.
Hey, you, it's me. Remember to order safety goggles and grab some milk on your way home.
But now I use Grainger. Grainger's got the technical support you'd expect from America's #1 source for industrial-grade supplies. They're in the business of helping my business, so no more talking to myself. Now I talk to Grainger, because when it comes to keeping your business running, Grainger's got your back. Call or click Grainger.com to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As a doctor who provided medical care to remote islands, Dr. Ben Lebreau has seen some things.
Piracy, hurricanes, being struck by lightning.
While most of us can't relate to confrontations with pirates, we get that life and work come with a certain amount of risk. But your retirement shouldn't. Dr. Ben purchased an annuity to secure a guaranteed monthly retirement income for life, so his money won't stop working when he does. Find out if an annuity is right to protect your future at retireyourrisk.org.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill. Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Better place with my own two hands. Make a kind of place.
You can do exactly that by helping out the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill this week. Corner Pocket is joining the Boys Town of North Florida to help collect school supplies for children in foster care. Man, what a need that is. I'll tell you what, you'll feel great. You'll feel great. If you can afford to do it, you should do it. I've talked about this before, but my wife works in the school system, and in doing so, I've been alerted to things I was unaware of as to how many kids don't get enough to eat, how many kids don't have proper school supplies or clothing, those kinds of things, and it's heartbreaking. It just is. I remember years ago, worked for ACHS and was a counselor, and a lot of the kids that I worked with didn't have what they needed either. And that's just the worst because kids get made fun of. Kids are cruel. I mean, we know that. They just are.
This is true, yeah.
So if you want to help a kid out, you can. And thank goodness Corner Pocket's doing this. And really, it's a great cause. They will take donations. It'll be a donation collection center until a week from today. So Friday, August the 17th. Anything school-related, anything you can get. So if you're out buying this weekend for your kids, for them going back to school, just throw a little extra in there. Anything from glue sticks to pins, whatever it might be. Backpacks certainly are appreciated. All of it is greatly appreciated. Stop by any time through next Friday. The Corner Pocket does open, by the way, at 11 a.m. each day. It's on 2475 Appalachian Parkway next to the Earth Fair there. And you can help out the Boys Town of North Florida, kids in foster care, get enough school supplies. So. Good stuff. I have my kids pick out the stuff that we're going to donate. Say, hey, what do you think that kid wants? What would a kid your age or younger want?
There are so many great causes out there, but this one, there are certain ones that you hear and you go, that's a no-brainer. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You hear stories of kids. My sister works in the school district in Atlanta, both Fulton and Cobb County over the years, going on almost 20 years now. And you just take for granted what you had when you grew up. Because you hear some stories of kids coming into school with nothing, man. No shoes, trash bags to carry their supplies or their lunch.
It's
just
tough,
you
man.
think
It's
about
brutal.
it, you talk about it for too long. But help them help the Boys Town in North Florida, please.
They will. I think a lot of people will. It's a great city. People in this community do that. So that's one of the things that always gets me excited, that I know if we call upon action there, people will do it. Just like they do every year when it gets around Christmas time for us and we do the bowling tournament every year. We're going to have to do it different this year.
We'll have to,
It's weird when you drive by campus right now.
Figure out that wrinkle. Well, in general, too, I mean, Gain Street is still expanding. Now they're bridging the gap between some of those developments, those residential developments, and the stadium. If there was an open lot, chances are now there's a high-rise going in there for the kids.
Man, those can't be cheap.
No, and the new Publix is going in there, too, on Gaines. Free love, but, I mean, that's actually going to help out a lot of people on game day if you get there early enough, that is.
Ooh, that's going to be a mess. You better have your stuff on game day.
Well, but think about the foot traffic they're going to get of people parking around that area.
What time do they open the gates for the Virginia Tech game? That hasn't been announced, right? For Monday? That is going to be crazy.
Ooh, well, that's a holiday, so they can open that bad boy up at probably noon, right?
7 a.m. Let's get to, buddy. People keep wanting me to declare that a Cat 5 maintain. Everybody says, Jeff, can you please just say, look, Cat 5 maintain. And I've wrestled with it. It feels like a Cat 5 maintain, but it's also the first game of the year. I mean, do I have to issue a Cat 5 for the opener? I mean, we got it. There's a little bit of built-in maintain.
There is. Well, the hard
you
part.
got to work on Tuesday. We all have to go to work on Tuesday. Now, a lot of people may have taken the day off, but
I know a lot of people who've taken the day.
Yeah, well, if you're traveling in from out of town, then Cat 5 maintain to you.
Yeah.
If you're living here and you haven't taken Tuesday off, you got to go to work. You understand. You got to keep it together here. We're all gonna have a good time, a lot of fun, all that. But if you're out of town and you did take Tuesday off, you're gonna get loose. But I would issue a Cat 5 for you folk because you're so eager for the new season to start. But let's remember, this is Willie and the staff's first game. I mean, you want to remember it.
Yeah, well, it would be funny to take a look at the P&Ls and like the daily reports for some bars around the stadium, right? Because they'll have Monday, the average for the season, and then they may beat their Monday average for 6 months with one night's worth of business, thanks to this particular game. Because this town is, I think it's going to just be the roof. If there was one, it would be gone, Jeff.
It's going to be loud. It's going to be loud. I feel like there's been a little damper put on the game, but not by us and not by this staff and not by these players and not by this community. But with what's happened at Virginia Tech this offseason, like every day for about 2 weeks there, the story out of Blacksburg was that they lost another starter. All in all, 11 scholarship athletes on defense that they lost alone. That's a problem. I think more people feel like that game's a little bit more one-sided, certainly, than we originally anticipated. And so you do wonder whether or not a lot of us are thinking about this as some sort of foregone conclusion, sort of a celebration of sorts to open the Taggart era as opposed to a hard-fought football game. But, again, go easy on that.
The one thing I am surprised about is how low the secondary ticket markets are, and maybe that's because of the Tuesday job thing for most people, and then obviously Blacksburg folks aren't going to travel down in mass as though it was a weekend in October or November. But you may want to jump on that now because I would think at least the local market is going to raise those prices. So you could head to fanretreat.com and sign up for our event for the Libations Friday Fest coming up in just a few short weeks. And while you're there, check out the tickets because I saw some as cheap as $75 a seat.
Was that fanretreat.com?
That was fanretreat.com specifically, Jeff.
So well done, sir. You could do that. You sign up for the big event. Our big event.
Popular retreats on the homepage.
Right there. It's ripe for the picking.
In all seriousness, $75 for a ticket to that game, I wouldn't have thought you could get that with 3 weeks to go.
The Notre Dame game has had that same situation. It was originally something that you could not find a ticket. It was going to be an exorbitant expense, but now you can find tickets reasonably priced. Or GameDayExcursions.com, and you can join us and really not have to worry about anything.
Well, that'll get you there. Then you can scalp if you want to. Are you one of those guys who's ever waited for a kickoff?
I have to certain games that I didn't care all that much about, and it was like maybe I was neutral, like I didn't care about the two teams, but it was a big game, and I happened to be in the city for I've done it for a couple of NFL games where I just really didn't.
I've air quotes committed to doing that a few times, but if it's my team, I can't do it.
If it's your team, you can't do it, but if you're in a city, like I've done it for tons of baseball games where you can get them for next to nothing, but if you're in a city where you just happen to be there for work or you happen to be there visiting somebody and then the hometown team is playing, whether that's NFL or college or whatever it is, and you don't really care about that team, I'll wait it out there because if I miss the first 30 seconds of the game, who cares? I don't even care about the Lions. You know, you can do, you know what I mean? You do that then. If you're in, Arizona and the Cardinals are playing, you're like, I want to cross it off the list.
Oh, boy.
I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
Yeah. Cardinals, Lions.
That's a toughie.
I mean, do you even go, or do you find a bar to watch the other games?
No, because there's good quarterback play. You'll do that. You'll go watch that.
Maybe.
Rosen's going to be good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Going to be good. A lot of good play from the young quarterbacks last night across the board, really. It's going to be fun.
Are you confident in Baker, or are you going to go, maybe? I'm a little bit more confident, but it's week 1 of the preseason.
So I think I told you when we were evaluating Baker and trying to go through, I talked to a lot of people who do the projecting and all that stuff, and the thing they all loved about him, it was just he's an accurate passer. And I understand he ran an offense that doesn't translate in the NFL necessarily, but those offenses are changing. He's certainly not lacking in confidence. He has enough arm strength. It's not elite, but it's good, and he's really accurate. One game. It's all this was last night. It is a preseason game. Baker himself said, look, it was as basic a coverage as you'll see. I understand what I'm up against. I understand I had all day in the pocket. But there are some throws that he put on guys last night that help really, I guess, highlight what those evaluators were saying. He's a really accurate passer.
There was one throw in the second half where he's rolling to his right, and he gets rid of the ball, fires it up the sideline about 20 to 25 yards, and he hits a receiver on it must have been a scramble drill coming back to him. That will translate. There are some plays he makes that will translate to even when the scheme is fully vetting what Baker is good or bad at.
Well, that's the hardest part about preseason in general is that, again, you see, look, Fitz looked good last night. Jameis looked great last night. I have no question about Jameis anyhow, because over the last 6 games last year, Jameis was arguably the best quarterback in the league. People just seem to have forgotten that because the team was terrible. But when you look at him, if he cleans up the turnovers and obviously if he matures and keeps it together, he's going to be an elite quarterback. That's fine. I believe that. I think that gets lost in the shovel because the conversation so immediately shifts, and I understand why it does. But when you watch him last night, he's supremely confident, comfortable in the offense, and they look good. It's preseason, though. Everything's basic, and for all these young guys, all you're doing is looking for comfort level in the pocket. You're looking for progression, how quickly they make it, and do they throw the ball accurately. So checking the boxes for Baker last night, he had a great debut, there's no doubt. But it is just a first preseason game. It is a basic look, and but I do think he's going to be pretty good. I'll judge later on about elite, but I think he's going to be pretty good.
Well, Njoku had a good night last night for the Browns. They can get that second receiver. If Dez Bryant works out for them and signs on with the Browns as their number 2 option, maybe they are the quest for 8-8.
Dez looked a little shot towards the end of his time there in Dallas to me. I don't know if he's got anything left in the thing. Big guy. Hour number 2. Stay with us.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. I've been telling you that Kraft Nissan is your new tire headquarters, and now through September 30th, buy 3 tires and get the 4th one for $1. We're talking Goodyear, Bridgestone, Continental, Kumho, and more. Plus, all tires come with free lifetime rotations. Kraft Nissan gives you 2 years road hazard protection on your new tires at no charge. I'm telling you, we beat the box stores and we beat the tire stores. And we back it up with the Kraft price guarantee. We beat any competitor's written or advertised price. Also, for a limited time with our express service, 5-quart conventional oil change with free tire rotations for only $36.95. And full synthetic oil for just $46.95. And no appointments are necessary. Plus, don't forget, you can check out all our service specials by opening our service special tab at craftnissan.com. So if you're tired of driving across town for service, want the very best factory certified technicians, come to Kraft Nissan. We service all makes and models, and we want to be your one-stop dealer for all your automotive needs. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachian Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the three amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina. And presented by Hobbit American Grill and Mike's Marine Supply.
The Southside Farmers Market at the Walker Ford Community Center, located at 2301 Pasco Street, is now open every second and fourth Thursday of each month. Join the City of Tallahassee and shop local foods. Enjoy live entertainment, cooking demonstrations, and free health screenings. Everything from seasonal fruits and vegetables, seafood, and more will be for sale by our local farmers and vendors. Sip a smoothie and see what the market has to offer. So head to the Southside Farmers Market every second and fourth Thursday. To learn more about the market and its future dates, visit talgov.com/farmers market. Join the City of Tallahassee at the Southside Farmers Market at the Walker Ford Community Center, 2301 Pasco Street, every second and fourth Thursday.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Time now for your Atlanta Braves Minute, brought to you by Fonville, Lewis, Messer, and McConaughey. Personal injury law is all they do.
Yesterday, day baseball from D.C., the final game of the trip for the Braves. It was an 8-game road trip, and they were hoping for one more win to take 3 or 4 from Washington. Things were going well early for the Braves, an early 1-0 lead, but Aníbal Sanchez was knocked out of the ballgame after taking a liner off of his leg, had to come out, and the Braves had to rely on a couple of guys who had never seen big league action in Wes Parsons and Adam McCreary. Things didn't go well for the Braves after that, as the Nationals piled on, leading the way, Michael Taylor.
High fly ball to deep left field. The ballpark's not going to hold this one.
Nats eventually won the ball game by a final score of 6-3, so the Braves finish up the road trip going 5-3, and now they start up an 11-game homestand. That'll be 11 games in 10 days, thanks to a doubleheader that'll take place next week. Braves start things off tonight with the Brewers in town, 7:35 Eastern with the first pitch, 6:35 Central. Freddie Peralta goes for the Brewers, and tonight we see the SunTrust Park debut for Kevin Gausman. I'm Ben Ingram, and this has been your Atlanta Braves Radio Network update.
Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday.
Domino.
Brought to you by Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill. Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio, and a fine Libations Friday to you and yours. Hope you're doing well. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. Miss anything, all 3 hours get posted there as well as on iTunes. Upon the conclusion of the program, you can email us as well, jcs at 979ESPNradio.com. Keep those emails coming. You don't always get a written response from me, but we read them and we appreciate you sending those on in. Sometimes they're eye-opening. On Twitter, it's at J Cameron Show. The WTSM app works for your mobile devices. Hello, YouTubers. ESPN Tallahassee there. A little update from Tiger here. What do you do on the par? Is that par 3 right there?
Yeah, par 3-6. So Tiger has birdied 3 of his first 5 holes.
Yes, he has.
Nearly chipped in another one for birdie.
He was very disappointed in that miss.
He may have, yelled.
May have said some things.
Said some things. The 6th hole, he pulled his tee shot way left. I'm not sure par is in play. Depends on the lie in the bunker.
Damn it. Come on, LT Gray, keep it together. Hey, so practice, full pads, all that good stuff. Man, they have had a good run this week. And really, just overview here, there's no question that this is as good a start as you could hope for. And knock on wood, it continues. Now, we're going to lose some momentum in terms of coverage. They're moving on to IMG next week. But so far, so good, both in terms of relative health, enthusiasm, uptick in pace, all that's there. Coaches have been great. Really not a lot to report other than there's a lot of great video out there. I'd invite you to go to warchant.com. Aslan's done a good job of posting that, and that website has covered it very well. I know there are a lot of places that do it, and you can find it. There are a lot of websites and a lot of coverage this week because of the access has been so good. And I'm thankful for that. I'll just say that publicly. It allows us to do our job easier. It allows us to talk about things that we know because we saw it or that you could see. And so far, so good with that.
Yeah, now that a week of practice is done, any new thoughts or things that we didn't really touch on from seeing the open practices or the open portions? Or
just that I think DeAndre is probably in the lead for the job of starting quarterback. Other than that, no, I think that the enthusiasm I have for the skill position players is probably increased even. I mean, I knew about Cam Akers, obviously, in that entire loaded backfield. But, when you watch Terry and you see, Nooney come back and be able to participate some, and you just realize there's going to be a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism, chance for home runs, a lot of plays, a lot of big plays in this offense, I think. Just got to have to hope the offensive line holds up and that they play at least – average to a slightly above average, and I think he can win 9-10 games.
Yeah.
Defensively, DeKellen Brooks is a guy that I know they're really excited about, and that was an area of concern at linebacker. But obviously Burns has been the story of camp so far, Tom. Defensively, he's been unblockable, but it's hard to get a read on that because they haven't been in full pads really getting after it, so we'll see.
Well, and tackle on the right side isn't exactly our, most deep positions.
Still trying to figure that out over there.
Yeah, we've had years where we said, wow, the defense is taking it to that offense. Well, that's a good sign for the defense. And we find out the offense is bad or something along those lines. I think just consistently, you're going to get passion out of this group. You're going to get effort out of this group. They're enjoying practice. They're having fun with it. Does that mean we're going to win all our games? No, but they care a lot. And I think the message that Willie is preaching about having fun with football, it almost lands on these ears in a better way than it will kids he recruits because they're coming from something that was stale and now it's colorful. So it's almost like when Fuente was talking to you, Justin Fuente at the ACC meetings, and he said that all of his veterans were willing to buy in right away. They wanted to win. That's
Yeah,
why they
they're
were willing to
desperate
buy
to win,
in.
sure.
Why did the 2010 Knowles want to buy in, and why did that group finish the job in 2013? They saw where the program had come from. So I think this group is buying into Willie in a way that even the kids that he gets in the 2019 class, 2020 class, it's in a unique way that he won't be able to do again. These kids are enjoying playing football again, and that should translate on Monday night against Virginia Tech.
Whenever you get a new coach, that's anywhere, it ordinarily does involve an uptick in recruiting because people want to buy into the change. They want to buy into a new regime. They want to buy into whatever the new message is being sold by the coaching staff. And this group has done that. But the wins sustain it. And obviously Georgia under Kirby Smart have won a lot of football games right off the bat. He's recruiting well, partly because you get the initial surge of a new coach taking over, and it's no longer a same stale message from the guy that's been there for a decade. You got a new guy and a new belief system and a guy that has his bona fides coming from Nick Saban's staff. But what's happened to help elevate that to another level is they've come in and they've won big games. They've had an opportunity to play in big games, and they've won them. And there's no getting around that. I think it's imperative to keep the momentum rolling here. He is a great recruiter. Willie and his staff are going to be able to convince kids to come visit, to take a look at what they have to offer. When the kids get on campus, I think we're going to do a great job of closing those kids. You talk to anybody who does recruiting for a living, and they say, well, the key is if Florida State gets you on campus, they got a real shot at it because they're impressive recruiters in that way. And once they get you here and they're able to show you the kind of family atmosphere that they've created, and kids want to hang around the facilities, and they start talking to the players that are there. Right now, those players are all in. They believe, and they're gonna impart with that message, right? They're gonna tell the new guys that very thing. But if you turn it around here in year one, and you take advantage of the already built-in uptick in recruiting by winning key football games, in particular, win that Virginia Tech game and win me one of these other three games. Clemson at home, Miami on the road. I know it was beforehand. So Miami on the road, Clemson, or on the road at Notre Dame. You got to win one of those. And if you do that, you're going to win 10 games in all likelihood. You're probably going to go 10-2 if you get a win in one of those scenarios. You know, the Virginia Tech game, yes, and then either a win at Miami, a home win against Clemson, or a road win against Notre Dame.
Yeah, the theme that I think most people are echoing, and it's not just recruits that are coming on campus for a meeting or people that work over in that building. There's something about Willie Taggart and that staff. You let your guard down. You know, you feel like you don't have to keep your defenses up. You're not being pitched something. You're just being talked to. Mm-hmm. And I think that this group appreciates that, players, holdovers, more than most other people ever could. It's why we really were happy that, you know, practice went the way it did when Jimbo started, that everybody was doing reps at all times. There was way too much standing around under Bowden. And, you know, if you were a younger player or a third teamer who's, you know, when you're an upperclassman, maybe you'll contribute, you didn't get the same kind of time. So we loved the militaristic style of the way that practice has gone. But now, in turn, fully realizing that it goes in cycles, and when Willie's time is up, be it short from now or a long time from now, we're going to yearn for a taskmaster type.
Maybe.
I think so, probably.
That stands to reason. That's typically what happens with coaching changes. You go from one end of the spectrum to the other. If things have come to a conclusion and it's not working out, then you want somebody to come in and do the exact opposite that you just witnessed that led to the downfall. But I don't know. I do get the sense these guys could be here a while. They view this as a destination job. They're going to recruit well. If you recruit well and you love where you're at, the chances are you're going to remain enthusiastic about your program, convince people to come play, and win a lot of games.
Well, they come at it from different places, but you can see the way that Willie motivates, Walt Bell motivates, and Harlan Barnett motivates, and David Kelly is a motivator as well. Odell, I mean, come on, right? They all sound a little bit different, but it's all the same message, and you see it week to week. It's why we talk about we prefer home and homes versus neutral site games, right? You see how much emotion can change or be that X factor. If you're ramped up for a game, if it's not a back-to-back week, a look-ahead game, there's questions about maturity, focus, and passion every week when you're trying to pick who's going to win and lose football games. And if you have that on your side, I mean, think about if we still had the same staff, right? And we were going down to Miami this year. It's hard for us to get up for games with that staff. That was the lesson we learned in 2017, so there was going to have to be a flip in enthusiasm. This year, that Miami team is going to be pumped up crazy, and so are we at that point. That could be an all-timer from an energy standpoint.
Oh, I think it's going to be. They're rejuvenated by having finally won a game in the series for the first time in nearly a decade. And they believe that's the sign that they've turned the corner and that they're now going to be a major player on the national landscape. We believe it was a fluke against a terrible team that actually still deserved to win the game, but let it slip through their hands late, and let's restore order. Willie's a believer in tradition and the echoes of the past, and he's going to bring that up, I'm sure, about the all-time great Florida State-Miami rivalry. Those kids will come out breathing fire. That game is going to be so fun, and it'll be fun for the nation to watch. And it was a time where annually, no matter who you talk to in college football, they couldn't wait for that game. I think it's coming back. I do. I really do. The only one that's not back on par is the Florida State game because the Gators suck. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely Zero-Turn Mowers. TNT.
$11.22. Hey, I'm Jeff Doxey, Realtor for Capital Property Consultants, representing Premier Fine Homes. If you're thinking of owning your own brand new Premier home, call or text me at 850-545-4747 or email me, jeffdoxey1@gmail.com. You say where, I'll be there. Your Canopy Connection.
Are you tired of getting the same two-piece kits? Cornerstone Tool and Fastener in DeWalt have your answer. Buy a 1/4-inch 3-speed impact kit with 2 4-amp-hour batteries and receive a free 1/4-inch 3-speed impact kit. That's correct. You get 2 DeWalt 3-speed impact kits for the price of 1 only at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. While you're there, check out the power of freedom. FlexVolt 60-volt tools from chainsaws to string trimmers, blowers, and even compressors. Cornerstone has the largest DeWalt selection in Tallahassee. 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon.
Wahoo Seafood Grill, Tallahassee's leader in fresh seafood, is located right behind the Best Western on North Monroe. Lunch specials start at $7.99. Be sure to try their award-winning house-made burger. Big lunch parties are also welcome. Wahoo Seafood Grill makes lunch specials a very affordable choice. Delivery is available and plenty of parking. Wahoo Seafood Grill. Easy access from any part of town using I-10. Visit them online at wahooseafoodgrill.com or call them today at 850-629-4059.
It's time to get your chop on as our Atlanta Braves continue to roll through the big NL East battles and into the summer.
The 3-2 pitch, here it comes, and there it goes. It's fair, it's long, it's in the chop house.
Atlanta Braves baseball on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you in part by Fonville, Lewis, Messer, and McConaughey, and by Metro Deli in downtown Tallahassee. Head to espntallahassee.com/Braves. You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
To ask something yesterday, did we get any clarification on why the Florida State LSU 2022-2023 games, why did they do what amounts to a home and home without either team being at home? Like, one-offs are usually the norm with these big games that aren't on campus. So a one-off against Alabama and Atlanta makes sense. It's a cash grab. You go up there to Atlanta to a neutral site, you play that game. But you only usually reciprocate if it is a home and home, where you say, okay, well, we're going to play so-and-so, like Oklahoma. We're going to play there, and then they're coming here. Why did they do two one-offs of neutral site games? I know that they're in their respective states, but it would have made much more sense to do the cash grab one-off thing and go play it in Orlando or Atlanta or Houston or wherever the hell you're going to do it.
I don't know. As of earlier today, I didn't really see any official announcements. I would think there would be a corporate announcement that would go with that.
Yeah.
Like the Orlando game is the Camping World kickoff or whatever, where you can, net the extra money. I don't know that New Orleans has had kickoff games, but maybe they have, a series coming now. Atlanta has two. Dallas has had one. Houston has one. Charlotte has one. Orlando.
Yeah.
I don't recall New Orleans. Maybe it's just they've never had a headliner.
Didn't Alabama play somebody in New Orleans once? I thought they did. I thought it was in a game that was it was nondescript, but I could be wrong about that, too.
They may have, but I would assume that this means that they have corporate tie-ins on both ends of it. I think that's got to be the one reason. If not money, then why? You wouldn't just randomly just decide to call up the Superdome and say, hey, let's play there instead of Baton Rouge.
I mean, I just think it's odd that they did sort of the traditional home-and-home type schedule, even though there's not a single home game here. To be like when we played Oklahoma State, one-time thing to go to Jerry's World. When we played Ole Miss in Orlando, one-time thing to go over to Orlando. When we played Alabama in Atlanta, one-time thing just to go up to Atlanta. This is a two-game thing, and I don't know why they did it. I think it makes more sense as a one-off. If you're going to do a back-to-back year thing, man, just do a home-and-home.
Forgive me if the numbers are wrong precisely, but I think the Alabama game paid either $5 or $7 million extra, right? You got an extra 5 or 7 for the athletic program.
I thought it was $2 to $3 million more than you would have made if you hosted.
Okay, so maybe it was 7 raw,
right,
and it was $2 to $3 million.
5, yeah.
And then Orlando was an extra $1 million. I mean, there was some benefit, significant seven-figure benefit.
Always going to be a financial benefit. Yeah.
But I would think that the two universities said, all right, well, we see the value in these types of games and what they bring to our athletic department, the extra dollars they bring. So, let's just decide on committing to 2 years so we can get it done. We don't have to worry about scheduling a marquee game. Why don't we just pair up and take 2 years' worth of extra money? It's not what we want to hear here in Tallahassee, but it's also logical. They're following the money, and the money is made at neutral site games over home games.
Why, though? Is that just the corporate sponsor?
I think
that has to be it, right? I mean, why do they make that much more than they would make playing right here?
Yeah, Jerry cuts you a check.
Because I was going to ask, what do they get from the ticket sales? Like here, they would get the ticket sales. What do you get there?
No, I mean you get cut a check from Jerry, and then
it's just a greater sum. Yeah,
Chick-fil-A cuts you a check, and then based upon the magnitude of the matchup that they get. I'm sure that Alabama, Florida State netted a bigger payday for those two universities than, say, Alabama, Louisville or Alabama, West Virginia from a few years ago.
Yeah.
So they probably pitched it in tandem to both Orlando, who we have a good relationship with. I recall them, the bowl representative or, whatever the committee is down there, talking to Tom Block and Keith Jones on Front Row Knowles about a year ago, and he said, we're excited about what we have for the next couple of years, and certainly we're hoping and eyeing towards Florida State getting another date in Orlando.
Yeah, they wanted to do it. I knew that
in the near
then.
future.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they were motivated with the university, and perhaps LSU has a relationship with the folks over at the Superdome, whoever, maybe it's the Sugar Bowl committee. Maybe they're trying to throw their hat in the ring.
Damn antiquated. You're going to be so disappointed. If you've never been to the Superdome, you're going to be so sad.
Well, I've been to the Georgia Dome. Is the same thing, I'm assuming?
Georgia Dome's better. It's not great, but it's better. The Superdome, good Lord. Well, I don't know. I haven't been, I guess in fairness, I haven't been since Katrina, so they probably had to renovate the hell out of it.
I would think so.
Maybe it's better. It was a piece of crap.
It'll be loud as hell, though, because that's an LSU home game, so any spare tickets are going to LSU that year.
From Tom Block yesterday, I did see this. I had forgotten about it. Here we were talking about that being a first game of the year and how cool it is. If you look at the next 6 years, obviously this year it's Virginia Tech here in Tallahassee, great game. Boise State over in Jacksonville, fun game. I wish it was an over in I just don't understand that. But
okay. So if Atlanta pays you $3 more million or $2 more million,
what do you get by going to Jacksonville? I mean, literally, what do you get? Come on,
$20.
I mean, here's some cigarettes. What are you getting going to Jacksonville? I mean, Jesus. Anyhow, Virginia Tech this year here. Boise State and Jacksonville next year.
It really doesn't make life easier for anybody unless they're flying in. That's about the only way it makes life easier.
Coming from out of town, it's much easier, right? West Virginia in Atlanta the following year. Notre Dame at Doak the following year. LSU in New Orleans the following year. LSU in Orlando the year after that. We do play Notre Dame in 2024. So, if you want to slot that into the opening weekend, then there you go. It's kind of funny because, again, it's a slate over the next 6 years for opening games for FSU that are invigorating. They're enticing and exciting. Everybody will be pumped in the offseason for Vatech, Boise State, West Virginia, LSU.
You've listed out all of those games. Where would you put the slash mark in between 2 years where the college football playoff has gone from 4 to 8 teams? Yeah.
Well, remember, we had a definitive year that we said there was an opening for them to make that move, and I think it was after the 2020 season that something was allowable in the contract.
Yeah, you could probably renegotiate, but they could do it anytime they want.
In theory, they certainly could do that, but I don't think they want to just yet. I don't think it's there's momentum growing for it, but it's not overwhelmingly so. There's enough of a backlash every time it gets brought up. I don't need it. I'm okay with the 4 right now.
I don't want it. I never have. I like the idea of musical chairs with the Power 5 conferences. There's not enough seats at the table, and so somebody gets left out. That's what makes it feel.
That bothers a lot of people where they'll say, hey, listen, there's not enough because all of the Power 5 conference champions should be recognized. I don't think so. Every year that they've done this, first of all, a feather in the cap of the ACC, there has been a representative out of the ACC in every college football playoff so far. Not every conference can say that, so it's important. But in truth, every year that you've watched it happen, you've thought, well, nobody from the Pac-12 this year needs to be making this. Nobody from the Big 12 this year really needs to go, or nobody from the Big 10 certain years. I mean, you could look at it and say, definitively,
right,
this conference doesn't have.
And if there was a mythical 4-5 game, right, perhaps it shouldn't even be the 5th Power 5 conference that gets a ticket to the dance here because
whether
second place
UCF
ACC, second place SEC is just a better team than the conference champion over the Big 12 or the Pac-12. I like it being musical chair style, but I also am resigned to the fact that it's going to change. That's the nature of this thing. Coaches are going to work so hard in lobbying against athletic directors and school presidents and playoff committees and bowl officials because their motive is absolutely to make the playoff. They don't want it to be exclusive so they can continue to get contract extensions. It's why the college basketball tournament has expanded so many times. It's the same thing.
Job security, buddy. I was told some really good things the other day about Florida State basketball. I know. Nobody. Hey, stop! You shut your mouth, Cameron.
No, not even that. It's just the Obiagu thing is. Ay.
Yeah, you're gonna like though what we got. You're gonna like what's coming on over. You are.
We would be loaded, though. I mean, I would have delusions that I would have kept quiet had he still been here. I would have thought.
He did.
Oof.
Yeah, but he had such a great distance to go offensively. I mean, he was miles behind.
But what he can do for a lot of teams. Not every team was, do we present a matchup nightmare with Obiagu, but there's a significant amount of teams. I mean, it could punch your ticket to the Elite Eight just by playing defense, which was a brand new phenomenon for us. First time we were playing junkyard dog defense in years in that tournament.
Don't get me wrong. I'd rather have him than not. And it is a damn shame that we lose him. I feel like you're right. It would have been a cherry on top. But it's a good team. It's a good team. The problem they have, and we'll quickly get off of basketball, the problem they have is there's no way to live up to what happened, barring another trip to the Elite Eight or Final Four. And, I mean, come on. That's not a reasonable expectation right now, really for almost anybody. There are very few people that can sit down any given year before the start of a season and say, I expect to go to an Elite Eight. You got to be Duke or Michigan State or Villanova or somebody like that. Not too many people can actually say that and mean it Kentucky. But, I mean, we've been spoiled by success the last couple of years, Tom.
If we had Obiagu, I would have quietly said, well, wouldn't shock me if we
if we got
made
right
the Final
back there
Four.
again. Yeah. I like that we're at a place where we can have unreasonable expectations instead of none at all. Right? Like to be able to say, oh, no, we're making the tournament. It's a matter of how far in the tournament we get. This is the conversation I've always wanted to have.
Well, yeah, that's, I know you've responded to this in past talking points saying it's unfair to expect it because the tournament is wacky. But we're damn near this year expecting with what we return, even without Obiagu, to be in the second weekend of the tournament. I mean, Sweet 16 is not...
I don't go into it. I don't know. You expect to make the Sweet 16?
Well, I don't. Listen, I think a one and done in the tournament this year would be a failure. We have to move the sliding scale up a little bit, right? So now that second round game becomes the game to win.
My point would be that we are 2 years removed from saying, can we just get to the tournament?
Yeah.
And we are already at a place through back-to-back tournament appearances, both winning a game at least, right, in the tournament. The year before, we had made it to the second round before exiting in glorious fashion. But, look, I mean, now you have an Elite Eight appearance, and we're already going, well, I mean, making the tournament, everybody makes the tournament. Got to win a couple games.
Damn right. That's what comes with doing this and bringing the kind of kids we bring in now.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that. I'll just say again, let's go back to the tournament and then let the chips fall where they may. At that point, you are back-to-back-to-back. You've got some wins under your belt in those tournaments, no matter what happens in this particular season. And, keep recruiting like you're recruiting. And I think you might actually elevate yourself to a place where you expect top 5 in the ACC, toughest conference in America, and a win or two in the tournament. I love the idea of that. I'm not there yet. It's also not basketball season, and I can't even think about it. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely zero-turn mowers.
Best-selling brand of mowers. When you buy your Exmark mower from Southern Harvest Equipment, you are guaranteed a great price. Nobody sells Exmark mowers for less, and currently select commercial mowers are 15% off commercial sales price while supplies last. You can also receive 0% financing. Find the Exmark that's right for you at Southern Harvest Equipment, located at 408 Wiggum Dairy Road in Bainbridge, Georgia. Exmark, ready to work for you.
Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's bring you the Fall Hunting Classic with all the latest gear and the lowest prices of the year. You can trade in your old gear for even more savings. Earn up to $100 in club points. Plus, take advantage of free hunting seminars and kids' activities. Don't miss the world's greatest hunting show and sale, the Fall Hunting Classic, August 10th through the 26th. Visit BassPro.com and Cabela's.com for more information.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
I give to you easy laundry service from my friends at Wash Around the Clock. Oh, buddy, this is a game changer. If you're like me, your life is hectic. Between work, school, your kids' sporting events and activities, well, it leaves you precious little time to kick back and take a load off. About the last thing you want to do is hours of laundry, but there it sits, staring at you, taunting. No more. That's right. More watching, less washing. Save hours of valuable time when you sign up not doing laundry with easy laundry service from Wash Around the Clock. Whether it's dry cleaning or just plain laundry, Wash Around the Clock's easy laundry service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill. Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Phil Steele, in his preseason mag, goes through just about everything, but he was looking at odds via Westgate and Las Vegas Superbook recently, and you have the preseason focused on odds to win the national title or over-under win totals for each team season, but there's also money to be made, if you will, by looking at underdogs in each conference and taking underdogs to win each conference. And out of the ACC, the best bet seems to be Florida State. The Noles won only 6 regular season games last year, but they also had the ball on the Clemson side of the field with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, down just 3 points in Death Valley. He goes on to note they get Clemson at home this season and are much improved overall. It's a consensus that some people are awakening to, that this could be a much better team, as I said earlier. Boston College would be a team that you get, if you were really daring, unbelievable odds on 50-1 BC to win their division. Now, again, they'd have to take out Florida State and Clemson.
That'd have to be something. Yeah, some kind of season.
But think about what they were last year with A.J. Dillon. Dillon's back. Boston College has Phil Steele's number 6 rated offensive line in the country, a top 20 defense, a veteran quarterback. The Eagles get Clemson at home on November the 10th, and they were tied in the fourth quarter at Death Valley last season. By the way, November the 10th, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
It's a good day.
Yeah. They play Clemson and us back-to-back. Does Boston College.
Oh, it's brutal. But they do, again, get Clemson at home. They're not going to beat us here, I don't think. Hopefully we're not beat to hell by that time because that game is late, right before Florida. Michigan State out of the Big Ten is a mover and shaker, too, of course. The Spartans were the second least experienced team in the country last season, but jumped to number 13 on his experience chart with 19 returning starters. They face only one team on the road that had a winning record last year, that's Penn State, and they host both Ohio State and Michigan. They'll beat one of those two. I mean, they'll beat one of those two. Still don't know what kind of season Ohio State's going to have. They're loaded. Some people think this is Urban Meyer's deepest and most talented roster since he's arrived. That includes the national championship team. But you have, who knows if it's going to be Urban Meyer's team, and you have all of these distractions. I don't know how that plays. It's difficult to know that.
Well, timing matters for divisions as well. We heard talking points the last couple of seasons about preseason camp. People who are around practice, they said Jimbo's team was the most talented it's ever been, and that includes 2013, and how'd that turn out? So, timing.
But it certainly wasn't because you just didn't have a quarterback. You couldn't, DeAndre Francois at his best was not going to be able to be in the same stratosphere as Jameis Winston.
Sure, of course not, but everybody was still eating it up, me included. Okay.
Well, we thought they were good. We didn't think they were, I don't think either one of us thought they were anywhere near 2013.
No, in terms of athletic component to the team, what you have athletes-wise. And I think that's part of, if you're bullish on this year's team, you're bullish because you think we got a little unlucky with injuries last year and it was a complete mess with the coaching staff and in development. If you're not as bullish, you think their evaluation has been off for a couple of years now. So Willie's got some roster flipping to do. And I think that's where a starting point would be on whether you think 10 wins is possible or whether you think 8 wins is a more natural home for this team this year.
Offensive line. TCU out of the Big 12, 6-1 odds. The Frogs have the Big 12's best defense. They are young on the offensive line and at quarterback. Head coach Gary Patterson develops both of those positions well. The Horned Frogs have the number 3 rated special teams unit according to Mr. Steele. Big 12 is wide open this year at 6-1 odds. Not a bad runner, right? And then he gets into Conference USA with UAB and Miami of Ohio out of the MAC and the Mountain West. But Pac-12, Oregon, Justin Herbert, who is so good, as we all know. When he played last year, Oregon was good. When he didn't, they didn't play well.
I found it interesting that ESPN listed him as a top 20 college football player this year in their top 100 list. Really? Are we sure about that, or is that going to be about stats with the offense? Because we have to define our terms, even here in Tallahassee, relative skill versus the numbers that we're going to be putting up if we're going to be running more plays.
You know what I was blown away by? And that's a fair observation. Justin Herbert, when he played quarterback last year for Oregon, the team averaged 52 points a game. When he was not the quarterback, they averaged 15.
Yeah.
Good Lord, man.
No depth at the position. And we went through the game log a couple of weeks ago. And, his completion percentage was through the roof, largely over 65, 70% in, games he was healthy. And moreover, the yards per attempt were high. I can't speak to the air yards per attempt. I'm sure they're quite short. They're probably quick hitters. But there's no doubt that he was both accurate, and it wasn't because they were dinking and dunking at 3 yards per pass completion at Oregon last season.
Oregon is 58-10 in the last 10 years at Autzen Stadium, where they'll be playing both Washington and Stanford. So that's a big deal, obviously, if they're going to surprise out of the Pac-12. The other Pac-12 surprise could be Utah. It's a tougher schedule than Southern Cal, for example, but they host USC on October the 20th. They are a more veteran team. They came up 2 points shy of beating USC just last year. So if they get that win, they're 15-1 odds. They could rise up the rankings there, too. Out of the SEC, he's got South Carolina at 30-1. The Gamecocks were without their top running back, Enrico Dowdle, top playmaker in Deebo Samuel for most of 2017. Both are back. Join a veteran quarterback in Jake Bentley and a solid defense. South Carolina hosts Georgia in Week 2. Sneaky, really good game in Week 2, by the way, that we haven't talked about at all. And if they were able to get that win, they are the front runners in the SEC East, because it's certainly not Florida or Tennessee.
Right. You're looking at the schedule at that point if you're a Georgia fan saying, ooh, I need them to trip up against a team that they're just worse, or I'm sorry, better than.
which is the rest of the East. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing to think about that, right? For whatever reason, Phil still does like Florida to have a huge bounce-back season this year, and he has talked about that. He joined me in our conversation a week ago, which was what we played on the air. Was it last week we played it or this week?
I think it was last week, yeah.
But he's got, they're 20-1 to win the division. Are the Gators, which, good Lord, if you're at Florida and you're 20-1 odds. I mean, for example, Florida State had a 6-loss season a year ago. There's 7-1 odds to win the ACC.
Boy, though, 20-1. Compare that to BC's 50-1. I mean, shouldn't Florida and BC be about the same to win their division?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is nuts, by the way. This is crazy. They only have 3 true SEC road games, with 2 of those coming against teams that combined to go 0-14 in SEC play when not playing one another.
Holy cow.
That's nuts. So some of it's scheduled. You get Georgia over in Jacksonville, and then you're hosting South Carolina, so maybe.
LSU comes to town as well, and I believe Mississippi.
They always play LSU well anyhow.
Yeah, and Mississippi State, and that's a big game for them. That's a record swinger one way or the other, right?
Yeah, I think Mississippi State will win that game. Mississippi State's one of the best teams in the SEC talent-wise. They're really Joe Moorhead's got a good squad.
If you're trying to avoid a 6 or a 7-win season, you got to beat Tennessee and Mississippi State if you're Florida.
I think you can beat Tennessee. I don't know that you'll. I don't as currently constructed. I'm not real sure they can beat Mississippi State. That's a big ask. I'm on Mississippi State for that game.
You've got a Gruden effect, though, at least that much. They'll be well prepared for them. They know every inch of what Mississippi State's going to bring to the table.
As we noted yesterday, if he's going to win over the fans, because he's not doing it in recruiting so far, it's going to be on game day, where you're going to get a competent coach making good decisions and coaching up a quarterback to at least have a modicum of success on offense, something that's been lacking for years and years at Florida. And if you get that with an improved offensive line, a decent running game, you got a shot to make those games 20-17, 24-21. You can win those kinds of games.
Which they seem to win. They're like the Cardinals.
Florida win every one of those close
They do,
ones,
don't they? I mean,
it
really.
feels that way, yeah.
During the bad MAC years, and even though they won SEC East titles, I mean, it seemed like every one-possession game against a Tennessee or a Kentucky.
Well, Kentucky's legendary.
That's why we were so shocked when Tennessee actually got out of its own way a couple of years ago.
Well, it came all the way back. They were kicking their ass in the first half.
Right. Tennessee was kicking their own ass.
Yeah.
I mean, dropping passes.
Oh, and down on the goal line.
Everybody looked like they wanted to throw up.
Well, it was a Butch Jones deal there, too. Yeah. But they were champions in life. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely zero-turn mowers.
Girls?
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Take this last second shot? Or make the last second shot? Make this musical request? Or this one? So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, last second shot, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime, redefined.
Are you tired of getting the same two-piece kits? Cornerstone Tool & Fastener in DeWalt have your answer. Buy a quarter-inch 3-speed impact kit with 2 4-amp-hour batteries and receive a free quarter-inch 3-speed impact kit. That's correct. You get 2 DeWalt 3-speed impact kits for the price of 1, only at Cornerstone Tool & Fastener. While you're there, check out the power of freedom. FlexVolt 60-volt tools from chainsaws to string trimmers, blowers, and even compressors. Cornerstone has the largest DeWalt selection in Tallahassee, 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon.
At CarMax, when we say we buy all the cars, we mean it. Over the last 20 years, we've purchased millions of cars from coast to coast. In the last year alone, we bought a mountain of Mercurys, an armada of Nissans, a ton of Titans, an ocean of Pacificas, and a sea of Siennas. Not to mention a few Hellcats and a couple of Tornadoes. So no matter what you're selling, CarMax is buying. And we'll buy your car even if you don't buy ours. CarMax, we buy all the cars.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
If you got a do-it-yourself project that needs to be finished, go visit Rick, Austin, and the knowledgeable staff at Cornerstone Tool & Fastener. Satisfy all of your power tool needs. We thank our friends at Cornerstone Tool & Fastener. I may be stopping by there this weekend because you know they're open, Tom, on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon. At least the Tallahassee location is. And I'm going to swing by there, I think, and get I definitely want the wireless. What's going on here? We got echoing Dylan still?
How's that possible? I have it turned all the way down.
Turned everything down. That's right. Nobody else could hear that. That's just my computer because I turned it way up.
It kind of sounded like Dylan, though.
It did for a second, but it wasn't.
I was pulling at the fader. I'm
no,
like,
Dylan, I love you. This is not what we have here.
You're on infinite -0 level.
No, what I was going to say was that when I go to Cornerstone Tool & Fastener, I'm going to get the wireless weed whacker, buddy. I'll be weed whacking the neighborhood.
Whacking some weeds.
Get you some of this. Oh, I don't need a cord. No. Look at this.
That's the power of freedom.
Is it lithium battery?
Lithium, yeah.
Lithium? I never listened to the.
That's the lithium batteries.
Yes.
The security agents are worried about, right?
I'm coming for you. I'm going to take out some. I love it. I love to weed whack. It's a lot. It feels like vacuuming. You can see the fruits of your labor. That's why I've always loved mowing lawns. You do that, you go, oh, look at that.
Yeah, the vacuuming thing.
Look at that.
Yeah, and you can see the starting point, you know, if somebody is an amateur vacuumer because they just go in the same, they start in the same spot.
No.
It looks like Sideshow Bob's haircut, you know.
Which was one of my favorite characters of all time. But that said, when you weed whack, you go, oh, yes, look at that. That's so much better than before. And then I do this annoying thing. Hun, come here. Check it out. Look what I did here. She's like, what? Come here. No, just tell me. No, I want you to look at it. You got to look at it.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
You have to, though. I can't explain to you how much better something looks after I get done weed whacking it. You need to see. See for yourself. Look at that. That little walkway had weeds everywhere. Now, none. Because of me. Because of what I did here with this.
And you can see for yourself online at ctf.nu.
Cornerstone Tool & Fastener, your location for all your tool needs. That's true. Did you watch the rather terse exchange, not friendly exchange between Kelvin Benjamin and Cam Newton? I would really like to know what was at the root of all of this. What is the problem? Of course, if you missed it, it was last week that Kelvin Benjamin told the Athletic, excuse me, yeah, I wish the Panthers had never drafted me. Okay. I mean, he had a hell of a rookie season, over 1,500 yards, I think it was.
Probably between regular season and playoffs, yes.
Yeah,
he cleared 1,500.
He was exceptional.
It was over 1,000 in the regular season for sure.
Yeah, he was really, really good, and it looked like that they had a burgeoning relationship to beat the band. But apparently, since that year, things have gotten awfully ugly to the point where he ripped Cam. Cam came up to him before the game and wanted to have a conversation, and it was fairly obvious that Kelvin Benjamin, playing for the Bills, had nothing that he wanted to say to Cam Newton of the Panthers. And it didn't get violent. It certainly wasn't a good look. Listen, his criticisms of Cam Newton about the accuracy or the lack thereof has been a criticism of those that look at Cam Newton and say, man, he's lacking in some pretty important areas. Except for when you judge Cam Newton, including Cam Newton, the MVP one year, you're not solely looking at him as a passer because he's one of the very few freakish athletes that you then do have to incorporate all of the other elements that he brings to the table. How many times have we all seen Cam Newton keep drives alive, make plays that have no business being made with a freakish athleticism? Not a lot of guys can do that. A lot of guys get hurt. A lot of guys cannot sustain that physical approach to the game. He has that. When he's on, he's really good. So it's more than just the completion percentage and the accuracy numbers for Cam Newton when you're judging him. And he has had a weird career because when he's good, he's really good. When he's bad, he's bad. And when he's off the field sulking, it's annoying and difficult to take, but when he's acting inspirational and as a leader, he carries teams to, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, looking at Kelvin's numbers, he cleared 1,100 total yards between the regular and postseason in his rookie season.
He was great.
But here's the number, and this is the inaccuracy point that he was making, KB, was he was targeted 145 times his rookie year. 145, that's a hell of a lot of targets.
Times to be targeted.
73 catches.
Yeah.
So the catch percentage just a shade over 50%. And from watching him here, KB doesn't drop a lot of passes. So that's just a lot of hoping and praying going KB's way. And he turned, obviously, those 73 receptions in the regular season into 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's a weird guy, though. Remember when he was here, he would drop the easy ones. He would never drop the difficult ones. He would drop the easy, quick slant, something odd like that.
Right.
He'd lose concentration.
Well, and that's the larger worry. We even talked about that when he was drafted. Is he going to be motivated? He's a guy you wonder.
Yeah.
Right. Well, when he checked in here as a freshman, that was
huge.
The last beat year I worked, and I watched them check in and report, and he looked like Carmelo Anthony with the gut from Syracuse.
He was gigantic.
It's just like skinny everywhere else, and then there's just this big belly hanging out. I was like, oh, my God.
But he quickly got in shape and ended up being highly motivated and was a big, big, big difference maker for Florida State, obviously, and he was his first year for Carolina. I just think with him, look, I can never decide whether Cam Newton is petulant and difficult or absolutely misunderstood and in some ways, not just on the field, but off of it, great. Look what he does with kids before every game. It's always something that puts a smile on my face. I think that's genuine.
I hesitate to say that.
Enough guys have problems with him that obviously it's not perfect.
I think the ends in a lot of those cases justify, whatever's going on between his ears because the kids genuinely are better off for the interactions they have with Cam and the benefits of whatever he does in his foundations.
I've talked to people, though, who have seen him when the cameras aren't on do that same thing, Tom. So I think there is something that is authentic about him that is worth celebrating, but I also think he probably has some really annoying habits. There's no question.
Well, and I hope that's true, and if it is, that's wonderful.
Yeah, great.
But when you're talking about two personalities trying to mesh here, KB and Cam have a lot of the same thing in them. KB was the one who went to Twitter after the 2012 Orange Bowl complaining about not getting the ball, saying, do I even want to be here, or something along those lines. I don't remember his exact words. And then Cam is the guy on the dais after the Super Bowl, pouting and hardly even wanting to do a media availability after he seemingly checked out in the biggest game of his professional career.
Well, he certainly refused to dive to recover a fumble. That would have been pretty important to
recover.
Right,
so, I mean, when the going gets tough, you can call both of these players into question.
I just question whether or not you need to go public. What was the point of that from KB?
I don't know what KB was doing there.
Well, that's intended to hurt.
Yeah.
That is a personal thing. Something happened beyond football. That is a disdain. You're going out of your way to really take shots. So I don't know if we'll get to the bottom of it. It just was interesting to watch those two. By the way, I would also say this. Cam Newton is huge because Kelvin Benjamin, you remember, we stood next to him after the national championship game in the locker room. That's a monster of a man.
He did the dumbest thing I've ever seen in that Clemson game. I mean, his hips were so far up in the sky when he contorted to catch that Jameis Winston pass in the first quarter. I was trying to take a photo of the play.
It's a great picture of you in the background trying to take that picture.
Well, my phone is not pointed towards Kelvin because my jaw, it didn't do it internally. It's just on the floor. I went, oh, my God, are you kidding me?
He is for that, yeah.
Relative to us, a man that big can elevate that high.
He's a different kind of guy, man. Different guy. Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely zero-turn mowers.
In your hands. It's the fastest smartphone in your house, in your workplace, in your city, which means you can scroll faster, load faster, stream faster, watch faster, and search faster. All because you have the Samsung Galaxy S9, the fastest smartphone ever.
Analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligent data for February to April 2018, comparing mean download speeds weighted averages on major nationwide carriers 4G LTE network results.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-748-6805. 800-748-6805. 800-748-6805. That's 800-748-6805.
Bags to catch, touchdown FSU!
The 2018 Seminoles football home opener versus Virginia Tech is approaching fast. Single game tickets are on sale now. Be there to witness the fastest offense we have seen in Garnet and Gold. And fittingly, be present to see Peter Warwick join FSU royalty as his jersey gets retired against the familiar foe. Tickets start at $65, and you can pick your exact seat on Seminoles.com. Get yours today. Do something and be there September 3rd in Doak Campbell Stadium.
Touchdown FSU! Touchdown Florida State!
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for this week, and a fine Libations Friday to you and yours, loosey-goosey. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. Look at you, Gary Woodland, not having it at the PGA Championship, hey? So, you know, Tom, when I was in Augusta at the Masters this year.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
I stood in the kitchen with Gary Woodland, had a conversation with him at a party. That's a true story.
Wait, you went to the Masters? Why didn't you tell anybody about this?
I did. I snuck off to the Masters. And actually, Trey Jones had a longer conversation with Gary Woodland. I just said, nice to meet you, Gary. But Trey talked to him. They had a nice conversation. Apparently, Gary's a great guy. Gary's stacked, by the way, a lot bigger than most golfers you see. He and Brooks Koepka, big dudes. Gary, you know, hadn't had that great of a year, but go ahead and fire in at 64-66 to start your PGA Championship, huh?
I have announced my presence.
With authority. By the way, Brooks Koepka, Florida State's own, of course, back-to-back champion of the U.S. Open is Brooks Koepka. One more major, and he's automatically a Hall of Famer. That'd be pretty hilarious. Yeah, well, he threw up a 63 today, folks, in contention for yet another major. His second of the year, if he gets it, and we are talking about a changed status. He's already at a place where the status has shifted as a back-to-back U.S. Open champion. You're going back to Curtis Strange prior to that. So he's in rarefied air. He's already a guy that if he never does another thing, will be as well thought of as most American golfers outside of Tiger Woods could be. I mean, it's impressive.
Yeah, there was a reluctance to embrace Brooks Koepka as a star of the game. I think part of that is probably his standoffish nature with the media. He doesn't run to the camera. He doesn't want the attention.
And behind the scenes, by the way, he's turned down all of those shows, the Tonight Show and all of that stuff. He hasn't wanted to do it.
Right. So you can understand, you know, if push comes to shove and the media wants to cover somebody, they're going to cover somebody who wants, you know, the attention and to be covered. However, it was nice to see a week ago that Brooks was on the Notables on ESPN's Bottom Line.
He made it to Notables.
Hey, he's a notable
right.
now.
Yeah,
okay, that's wonderful. And he will be only more notable this weekend because it looks like outside chance. I don't know how the pairings are going to work out this weekend, but he could be playing with Dustin on a Saturday afternoon.
And those two are the best of friends and fierce competitors. And Dustin Johnson today shot a 66, and so far so good for him as he's 7 under and, of course, in contention. Moving day tomorrow, a lot of us will be watching very, very closely, as we should. But I will tell you, and I find this fascinating, you know, again, privy to this just because of Trey Jones, the head coach at Florida State that I do a golf show with on the PGA Tour channel on Wednesday nights called Beyond the Tips. He talks about Brooks Koepka in a way that I find fascinating. You know, he's been around the best golfers in the world. He's known them and tried to recruit them in some cases successful, sometimes not, but gotten to know them. He knows their coaches. When he talks about Brooks, he has mentioned more than once that he's just a different guy, that there's something different about him and his belief in what he's capable of at all times. And I think there is that preternatural strength and toughness mentally and physically that one would have to remain hovering around the best of the world on a regular basis, which is what he's now doing.
Well, I think the thing that makes Tiger so special beyond, you know, the accolades that you can see, the accomplishments, is everything that he had to deal with. The double life he was leading.
Oh, that's crazy.
The pressure of sponsorships. I mean, Tiger wasn't shy to be on a commercial, to be on a video game cover. He had to shake a lot of hands. He wasn't sleeping a lot. But, you know... Well,
definitely not.
I'm not
Tom.
even trying to.
Definitely not.
Me of all people, I get it, but I'm trying to be serious for a moment.
Yeah.
where he has to do stuff with corporate sponsors.
Right.
He has his nightlife.
Oh, it's a crazy busy,
Navy SEAL training, working out,
which
golf,
was ridiculous. Sure.
All that stuff. It's amazing the amount of energy that he had as a resource. What Brooks is doing is he's eliminating all the crap that he doesn't need, and he's focusing on golf because that's what he cares to do. He's competitive and he wants to win. Tiger was capable of putting all of his energy into a lot of things.
Literally.
Some more literal than others. But Brooks is all about the action, boss, like Marshawn Lynch said.
Right.
And that's what's cool about him because he's got his own unique personality. There's a lot of corporate, white-collar do-boys that are top 10 in the world right now, top 20 in the world right now.
Justin Thomas,
Brooks is like, the hell with all of you. I'm here to win golf majors.
It's weird, too, because I think if you're just talking about talent, his name doesn't get mentioned enough. I think he's more talented than many of these guys that are spoken of on a regular basis, and here's why. Yes, he practices. Yes, he cares. But he's a guy who does what he does. He gets in, he gets out, and it's over. And he just has a belief in his swing to where he was injured. Let's not forget he missed a lot of time. And then here he is not having played competitive golf, and he has said to those closest to him, to his coaches, to Trey and others, no, I'm not worried about my swing. My swing will be fine. And once I come back, I'm going to be back, and I'll compete and win. That's crazy to take that much time. You're talking about 8 and 9 months of not playing competitive golf, Tom. We watch the best in the world take that amount of time off and come back and really struggle. And he would say to people who asked, how do you think you're going to play? You got to make a cut. No, I'm going to win. I'll come back and I'm going to win. He said that.
Yeah.
And then did.
Well, and the way he won this U.S. Open, far different than the way he won his first U.S. Open, which also increases the bona fides. It is interesting to see how this weekend will shake out because it does appear on the surface that this PGA Championship favors, like the U.S. Open did, the long hitters. I mean, Gary Woodland can bomb it. Dustin Johnson can bomb it. Brooks can bomb it. There is room for somebody.
There is, though.
For somebody who's more accurate to make a statement, but they have to play worlds better than a bomber does. And I think that's the problem. It took forever for people to give Dustin Johnson credit as a golfer instead of a long driver. I think Brooks is going through somewhat of that same process, even though he has more majors to his credit. He doesn't have the wins that Dustin Johnson has.
Right.
People look at him and they say he hits the ball a long way. They're not looking hard enough at his complete game.
Yeah, I go back to something here again that the best players in the world all have and have in bunches. And currently you're looking at a guy like Francesco Molinari, who comes out of nowhere at the age of 34 to be one of the best golfers in the world currently. He has won a major. He's won 3 times on tour this year. This came out of nowhere. And it's this belief that he has that he should be there and that he should be making putts. And he's not terribly long, but he's straight and he's making a ton of putts. And he now believes that he is rightfully where he should be. I mean, he shoots 67 today. He's in the top 10 currently. Look at the year he's had. But what I think is funny is this all centers around belief, confidence. It's not a false bravado. You have to believe. It has to be convincing. Your brain has to take this in and believe that you belong there, that you should be able on a Sunday against the best in the world to outshine all of them.
Yeah, belief to the point of fearlessness, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. Molinari had, when he won the tournament in the States before the Open Championship, that final round, he put himself in precarious positions in the front 9, where it was either to get up and down or to make a
Tiger talked about that too. He's like, he didn't hit it great, but he sure found a way.
He was completely steely in those moments. Yeah. And if you can prove to yourself, even though you know that you can make a 10-footer when you're trying to maintain a 2-shot or 3-shot advantage is a completely different, proposition. If you can prove to yourself that you can do that, look how freely he's playing now. Molinari was always one of those, that's fine. He'll fill out a leaderboard, but he's not the leader. But now, ask anybody around the game of golf. Molinari is as good a bet as anybody to win this tournament before it started on Thursday.
It's really weird. You see guys catch lightning in a bottle, somehow believe it, and it washes over them, and they are all in, and now we shall see.
Look at Paddy Harrington. He was always, this is a nice story, a guy from Ireland.
Next thing you know.
He's a 3-time major champion before you know it.
Yeah.
It's incredible how that works.
By the way, Daniel Berger's had a real good round today, too, and has played exceptionally well. I think -5 today, so
he sorely needed that.
Well, he's moved into the top 30 for now, so we'll see. But, Yeah, it's fun. It's the last major, and I didn't mean to lead with it necessarily, but we have Florida State's own Brooks Koepka up there amongst the top of the leaderboard.
Well, he's
again.
tying a PGA Championship record with his 63 today.
Yeah,
it's history.
It's cool is what it is, man. I mean, it's a big deal for the university. It really is to have a guy like this who's now ascending to a place where every major you think, Brooks could win it. And it's not flukish at all. And he's proven that this year. The U.S. Open was not a fluke. That he's a guy that's going to be around the top 10 pretty consistently at majors. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely zero-turn mowers.
You have 16 local Florida taps. Great craft beer just for you. And the best bologna sandwich you'll ever eat. It's like you just won the lotto. As Bumpa said, no matter how you cut it, it's still bologna.
Bumpa's Local, 349-2738, Capitol Circle, Northeast.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right. No Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. Those 60 cents have been freeloading a ride in me for weeks now. I really don't want to be seen like this. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. It's beneath me. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand, all snug and secure where it won't tip over or roll under your seat or get hot in the sun. So find a store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs and put that loose change back in your pocket. That's what pockets are for. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
And we're back with another edition of Spring Cleaning. Today, we want to know how you save energy, water, and money during a warmer season. Caller, you're on the air. What do you do to save energy?
With the warmer temperature, I know my AC is working overtime, so I make sure to replace my AC filter once a month.
Excellent suggestion. Next caller, you're on the air.
Well, the city of Tallahassee recommends that I take advantage of their grants and loans to get more installation in my attic. That's really going to keep my cooling costs down.
These are some great suggestions. There are lots of ways to save. Caller, you're on the air.
I reduce energy for water heating by lowering my water heater temperature and installing low-flow shower heads.
We have time for one more caller. What do you have for us?
I make sure to use my programmable thermostat to regulate the temperature in my home when I'm away.
Thank you, caller. That's all the time we have today.
The City of Tallahassee Utilities would like to help you save as much energy as you can and save money while you're at it. Visit talgov.com for more information and start saving energy today.
At CarMax, when we say we buy all the cars, we mean it. Over the last 20 years, we've purchased millions of cars from coast to coast. In the last year alone, we bought a mountain of Mercurys, an armada of Nissans, a ton of Titans, an ocean of Pacificas, and a sea of Siennas. Not to mention a few Hellcats and a couple of Tornadoes. So no matter what you're selling, CarMax is buying. And we'll buy your car even if you don't buy ours. CarMax, we buy all the cars.
The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Big store pricing with local service. Online at ctf.nu.
Loosey-goosey edition on a Libations Friday, the Jeff Cameron Show. Crank it!
Further on down the road, you'll accompany me.
All right, little time capsule segment here. Has nothing to do with nothing, but it is Friday, and we do this on Fridays because we can. Well, we do it really anytime, but especially on Fridays. Tom and I were talking about this off the air, and it's so perfect. It's kind of Tampa, and it's kind of not. It's also just so 2018. Here you go. This is a time capsule of the period in time in which we live. We're going to look back on this and laugh our ass off that this is so 2018, so perfectly 2018. Now, keep in mind, I'm not introducing this segment as a political stance of any kind. I'm simply reading the article to laugh. So don't take it either way. I don't really care. It's just so perfect in our day and age that this happened. And it's the kind of thing that happens all over the country, and it's absurd. Brian Sebring left work early on Monday, and he armed himself with his wife's handgun and an AR-15 rifle and drove to a stranger's house in an area of Tampa where he's lived since childhood. He was afraid, he says. He never met Alex Stevens, but believed he was a felon ready for a fight. Once the shots had been fired, Sebring, 44 years old, was the only one with a hot muzzle. He was the one in trouble, accused of shooting Stevens, 46, over a Facebook post about politics. I'm not a bad guy, said Sebring when interviewed by the Tampa Bay Times, but I mean, this guy, he threatened me, and I went off the deep end. I wasn't thinking right. After this, I'm going to go see a therapist or something, man, because that's some scary bleep. That I could just lose my temper like that and do some stupid, crazy thing like this. Stevens was shot in the thigh and the butt. He was discharged from Tampa General Hospital shortly after the shooting. He did not respond to the Tampa Bay Times request for an interview. Sebring was released from the Hillsborough County Jail for his part on Tuesday night with a $9,500 bond. He faces felony charges of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and carrying a concealed firearm. He wiped tears from his eyes Wednesday as he stood in the driveway taking phone calls from the police and his lawyers. Sebring said his guns had never been fired outside of a range until Monday night. Now, in addition to legal problems, he's the target of social media trolling across the country. I've ruined my life over this, said Sebring. Now my mother's too afraid to leave the house, and my sons are afraid to walk to school or church, all because of some keyboard gangsters. The Facebook dispute had its roots in a comment Sebring had added to a friend's post about Donald Trump. The post had since been taken down, and Sebring's electronic devices have been seized by the police. Tyler Travis, a Facebook user who witnessed the exchange, told the Times that Sebring was bad-mouthing felons who didn't have the right to vote.
A periodical witness account, but the witness is an electronic Facebook witness.
Yes, and he's a Facebook user, as he's known. That's just so good. Sebring, a registered Democrat, said he was responding to a felon who wrote that even though he had lost the right to vote, he wanted to share his political opinion. Sebring characterized his reply as, quote, if you want to voice your opinion, don't be a criminal. Don't get caught. Be a productive member of society. He said the comment drew hundreds of responses. But Stevens, who has a Facebook account under the name Dusty Rhodes, because of course he does, took the argument to Sebring's private messenger account at that point. Oh, we'll take it off the front lines and go to the messenger.
I'm going to slide up in your DMs with rage.
Stevens has a felony record and has served stints in prison, charges that include robbery and cocaine possession. His latest stint ended in 2016. Sebring had also been arrested but had pled guilty to misdemeanor battery charges and had to attend an anger management class. He did retain his voting rights, by the way. He looked up Stevens' criminal record before their Monday encounter. Stevens knew where he lived, said Sebring, and had threatened to harm him and his autistic son. Stevens sent Sebring his address and told him, come on over. If you want to fight, come on over, beep the horn. I'll come out. Sebring said he then dug at Stevens. In a screen grab obtained by the Times, Sebring wrote, dude, I'm going to empty a full 5.56 magazine into your head. You really want me to come over to your house? I just snapped, and my primal rage took over, said Sebring. Sebring said he drove to the home he shares with his 68-year-old mother, his wife, and 2 sons, armed himself with the guns, then parked his truck in the street outside of Stevens' home. I honked the horn, and the 6', 230-pound Stevens came running at me like a linebacker. That dude was ready. Oh, there's the beep.
If I hear a car horn,
I'm coming for you. So I love that he drove over and beep, beep, beep. Here I am, bitch. My man just comes charging out like a linebacker. Tampa police previously had reported Sebring's initial account that the other man charged him. I told him, hey, man, you better stop. Man, I got a gun. But he just kept running, said Sebring. Looked like he was holding a steak knife or something in his hand. When I saw that, I shot him. He dropped it and ran back in the house. Police spokesman Steve Haggerty said Thursday there was no mention of a knife by either man, nor did either man say the victim had a gun. Travis, who is Stevens' friend, said Stevens told him he was shot in the butt turning away. He then ducked behind a tree and was shot again in the leg as he tried to run back into the house. My man was playing for keeps, Tom. He was not having it. Sebring said he was nearly home when he spotted a police cruiser and then decided to park his truck. He emptied his guns and told the officer what he had done. Both Sebring and Stevens attended Robinson High School, but not at the same time. They share multiple friends on Facebook, some of whom have now joined the growing internet debate on Sebring's actions. I know both of these two, and I got to witness quite a bit of the fallout, says Shania Cruz Munoz, who posted it on the Times story. The victim is the victim, let's just say that. Threats were made, but only one chose to use the weapons. Only one chose to drive to somebody else's home and fire on him. Yay. Oh, that's rich. That's your story. That's your time capsule. That's what that is. That's a little bit of Tampa. A little bit of Tampa in there.
I just like to envision that my man's in his kitchen. He's buttering some toast, and then he hears a car horn. He goes, oh, hell no.
Oh, he did he? Okay, then he's running out.
Leroy!
Oh, yeah, he had an ear out for that horn all day. He was like, okay, guys, I just want y'all to know. It's probably going to be a normal day around here. Y'all hear a beep. Dad's going.
Kids are like, oh, Dad, no. I'm out the door.
Would you guys like a bagel as well? Beep, beep. Oh, no.
Time's up. Let's do this.
How ridiculous. My man slid into his DMs with threats, and he went, well, come on. Let's go.
Honk the horn.
Honk the horn.
Don't knock on the door.
No, honk the horn, and I'll come out. You have to be crazy in this day and age to just charge out of your house when somebody shows up who said he was going to shoot you. Like, what are you thinking? My man rolled over to your house.
Part of you doesn't want to live. If that's the play you're making, you're like, you know what? I'm miserable. I'm in Facebook arguments.
Let's just do this. Facebook argument turns ugly, and here we go. I love that he took it to the DMs, though. He's like, oh, well, this is where we're going now. I'll tell you what.
I am no keyboard warrior, sir. I will bring a gun.
I'll take it to your house. Come on. Just make sure you beep when you roll up. I'll come out. Let's get it on. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely Zero-Turn Mowers. Streamcast live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast, brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Attention students.
Looking for new furniture or mattresses? Call Tallahassee Furniture Direct today at 545-7112. Brand new furniture and mattresses at ridiculously low prices. Mattress sets less than $200. Bedroom sets less than $400. Living room sets less than $600. And complete apartment packages 50% below retail. Tallahassee Furniture Direct, 545-7112. Quality furniture, low prices. Delivery is available. Tallahassee Furniture Direct, 545-7112.
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the three amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina. And presented by Hobbit American Grill and Mike's Marine Supply.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill. Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Still drives me nuts that that's 1989, and they scream it to start the song. I remember when it came out very well. Still resonates, still really good. Hey, oh, by the way, if you haven't, go look at Tim Linnefeld's timeline on Twitter because you'll enjoy the pseudo-Oklahoma drills being done here, especially when you watch Landon Dickerson attempting to get to the corner of the end zone. They've got a cone set out there for the goal line, right? It's the players pick up the ball off the dummy. You got a defender. He's got to keep you from getting in the end zone. Couldn't keep Landon Dickerson from getting in the end zone. That's a big man. But listen to the one above it. It's the tweet above it that comes after it. It's A.J. Lighton and Trayshawn Harrison going after it. And I've tried to convey this week that, yes, things are more upbeat and there are differences in the way that practice is being conducted. But one of the things that's hardest to explain is this infusion of life and fun coupled with a lot of demanding physical drills. So it's all in one that you're seeing this more of a upbeat form of practice with the music and all that stuff, but the work ethic and the drills are difficult. So there's not just goofing off. But the head coach likes to practice. The head coach likes to instruct. The head coach likes to have fun while they're practicing, and it comes across if you crank it while you're listening to the players and the coaches during this one-on-one drill. Trayshawn Harrison is just able to get the ball over the cone. He actually hits the cone as Lighton makes the tackle. And listen to Willie Taggart kind of celebrate the fact and say, oh, man, touchdown, he got in, or whatever he says. It's just hilarious. You can hear it in the voice. He's loving it. He's challenging his guys, and he's having a blast. It's old school football. Here you go. And there's the whistle. In there. Touchdown. Listen to it again. And then I'm going to say something about the whistle next because that also cracks me up. Here it is again. That's Willie. And if we can really isolate that down moving forward, we can't do it now. If we can remove some of the outside music and chatter, just having him yell, in there, touchdown, blowing the whistle, I'd like that on a loop. It's awesome. He's having so much fun and challenging these guys, and you can hear him yucking it up. But they're getting after it. That whistle is omnipresent. That guy is old school. He loves that freaking whistle. When a drill ends on one field and they're racing over to the other field, if you watch Willie Taggart, he runs across the field the whole time, letting everybody know it's time to switch up. He blows the hell out of that whistle the whole run. It's like, tweet, 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 as he's running across. He never stops, and it's the old school whistle, which I love. It's not like the old coaching staff didn't have whistles. But, man, he's not afraid to blow it. He loves the whistle. He's a big fan. And I have to tell you, he's a man after my own heart. I've brought up my years of coaching the Timberlane Raiders, my brief stint of coaching the Timberlane Raiders, which I absolutely adored and miss it. And it's hard for me to believe that it was all that long ago. It was in the 90s. That's crazy. I was doing morning radio, and then I would go to practice in the evenings. But that said, I blew the hell out of the whistle too. I still have the whistle.
You have a clipboard?
I have the clipboard that I used then, and I had the whistle that I used then. The kids gave me a whistle at the end of the year. Oh, it choked me up talking about it. It's incredible. I have it.
Really?
Yeah.
They gave you a whistle at the end of the year?
Yeah, silver whistle, yeah.
Oh, geez.
It's awesome.
Dig for a meal.
Oh, yeah. No, it's great. I loved that year of coaching. I really did. It was so much fun. And you grow to love the kids, you know. And Jamie Gibbons was on that team, which still cracks me up, you know. And he's gone on and he covered the team. Now he's in college basketball, doing a great job coaching. And but yeah, I have that whistle and I have the trophies and I have all that. I have my clipboard that I used, and but I would blow that whistle all the time. I'm sure they were tired of that, but it's just power in that whistle, Tom. There's nothing you get somebody's attention with the quickness when you got a whistle. That's arbitrary. There was no need to blow that whistle there. It's a point of emphasis whistle blow. It's next. I know it's next.
Theater of the mind. I'm not sure who blew the whistle that particular time.
I think it's Willie.
I choose to believe it was Willie.
Well, I would make the assumption that it's Willie since I've seen him blowing the whistle a lot. It may not have been. You're right. But it does seem like that. If you go back and watch the Landon Dickerson one, guys raising their hands up and celebrating, guys getting after it, cheering for one another. And Willie does have a whistle in his hand and is ready to blow it at all times.
Landon, also, that's a good one to listen to because he lets out his best Hulk/Gronk roar once he scores and he spikes the ball. He gets face up with the Seminoles.com camera.
Yeah, Lane Hurd probably gets a earful right
my.
there. Yeah, okay. All right, this is what we got here. But between yesterday's during the stretch, learning the fight song, and putting an emphasis on that, just putting an emphasis on that alone, listen, you're catering to the alumni and the fan base in a way that resonates. And everything this offseason has, and now it's carried over on into practice. If you think about the week that's been, you get the announcement that an all-time great in Mickey Andrews is back in some capacity with the program, and I've seen him out at practice. And then you get this, it's time and again the feeling of or engendering a great passion for your university.
Yeah, it's pulling on all the heartstrings, and if he doesn't win, then we'll want somebody else to utter the word we. But in truth, the last coaching group was their program was we, the university was they. And with this group, the program is we, the university is we, the band is we, Bowden's era, we, everybody who came before. It's just this. That's it. It's us. That's the number one word. It seems like Willie is trying to get the players to understand when they're not at practice.
I was a guest on a show recently, and they said, "What do you think is most likely that Florida State is going to surprise people because of the 7-6 record they had? The expectations are low, or that the schedule is a bit much and the offensive line's not where it needs to be." Now, this was a follow-up question when I had talked about the offensive line being a bit of a problem. And I said the more that these practices play on and the more you talk to people around the program and the more you see the buy-in and the extreme talent that they have at the skill positions, this could be an elite secondary. Tamorrion Terry could end up being the surprise of college football to some degree because nobody knows who he is outside of Tallahassee. We all know that there's a secret weapon over there that's 6'4" and runs like the wind blows and catches everything but couldn't get on the field a year ago. But nobody else does. If you follow college football and even intensely follow college football, you don't know who he is. And so in this offense, if given a modicum of time, that guy's going to get the ball in space, and he's too big to run that fast. He's going to make huge plays. It's going to shock people. They're going to say, who is this guy? I knew about Nooney Murray. I've heard of DJ Matthews. I know about Cam Akers in the backfield. We're aware of these two quarterbacks. Who's this freaking guy? And I think there's a lot of that this year. I think you're going to see they'll overachieve. If we're going by Vegas numbers, it's easy to take the over on 7.5 all day long. It certainly feels more like a 9-win team than a 7 or 8-win team. It really does come down, and it's very simple, and we've said it all along, and nothing about what I've seen this week changes. It's really just how much can that offensive line do? And what do you get from your linebackers on defense? These were areas of concern before practice began. They remain, maybe less so a little bit. I think DeKalon Brooks is doing some things over there at practice to get people excited once again about the potential for quality linebacker play. But when I think about the skill positions, when I think about the year that secondary is potentially going to have, and the influx of passion and emotion and swarming to the ball that Harlan Barnett's going to bring for them, the sheer number of skill position athletes on the offensive side of the ball, you look at that entire backfield, you look at the wide receiver position, like I said with the Tamorrion Terry, you look at a Trey McKitty, really all those tight ends, I do think they're going to surprise. I think it's more likely. And I feel that now more than ever because they have all bought in. They believe in it. You have to be able to do things physically. It's not just a matter of buy-in, but they have bought in. It is physically, can you get it done up front? And some of that is mitigated again by scheme. So I do. I feel much better right now about the possibility of 9-3.
We've seen that as teams have risen to prominence in the ACC, as Florida State has kind of waned in the last few years. When teams buy in,
oh yeah, when they play with passion,
it covers up a lot. Louisville, when they played us, hosted us, and beat the crap out of us a couple of seasons ago, there was buy-in. Miami with a turnover chain, there's a buy-in and a belief. You could see it even when Miami fell short so many times. They would buy in for the first half, and then you take their will away, and they're the same players. What's happened?
Right.
But they didn't believe they were going to win, and belief is...
Oh, it's a powerful thing. Man.
It doesn't matter in the NFL. You know, if I've got a better trench play than you do in the NFL, then it's an absolute, 8 out of 10 times. In college, not as much.
Not as much.
I can catch you on a bad week, and I can make a difference.
Well, an emotion can carry the day in college football. It really can. And I've always said you've got to play football with emotion. You have to. It's just too tough a game physically to rely solely on being a button-down professional. I'm executing the scheme. No, in college and high school and on down, it's about emotion. It's about investment. All in every play for the guy next to you. It can help overcome some weaknesses. We see it in college football all the time.
Boston College, Florida State on a Friday night.
Yeah, there it is.
Talent versus commitment and belief. There it is, man. 35-3. 35-3.
Yeah, it's not a matter of edging by.
It wasn't 21-20.
It's beating your ass. Yeah. No, and they sensed it early. There was blood in the water, and they knew it. They went, oh, it's that kind of party. All right. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Bye.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely zero-turn mowers.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Look around. That's right, you see Nissans everywhere. Tallahassee has officially become a Nissan town. Kraft Nissan Town. Why? Because Kraft Nissan has the best pricing, best selection, and the best buying experience in town. And at Kraft Nissan, you get the best value for your dollar with more standard features, our exclusive and the original lifetime warranty, our easy choice menu that gives you a price and payment in writing, our new For You program that helps people with damaged credit, and every new 2018 Nissan we sell has available 0% interest for 60 months, plus $1,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your trade. Best of all, my people are the best in the business. They'll greet you with a smile and a handshake, and they know your time is valuable. My managers are always accessible, and of course, you can always ask for me or my brother Peter. Bottom line, if you need a new or pre-owned car, you need to experience the Kraft difference. Great people, great product, great price, with the best car buying experience in town. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much.
The holidays are coming. Well, in a few months, and that's why now is the time to shower up with a beautiful custom bath or shower enclosure from Widden Glass. Don't wait for the holiday rush. Widden Glass will take care of you this summer to your complete satisfaction. They've been helping to design and install bath and shower enclosures for Tallahassee homeowners for over 70 years. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with real glass people, experienced, reliable professionals. Widden's top-of-the-line bath and shower enclosures provide style and luxury at an affordable price. With the holidays coming, that means family, and that means now is the time to shower up with style.
Call today. Widden Glass, the real glass people. 222-5781 or online at widdenglass.com. WHIDDON. Widden, Tallahassee's first family in glass since 1945. 222-5781.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Wrapping it up on this Libations Friday. Before I do, a couple of things to tell you about. First of all, if you're sleeping on a sorry pillow, stop doing that. Get My Pillow. It's a great pillow. You'll like it. It is just a pillow. It's not necessarily going to dramatically change your life, but you'll sleep better. That's important. We all want to sleep better. I am. I'm sleeping better thanks to My Pillow. My Pillow stays cool. It keeps its shape all night long. You're not waking up at 3 a.m. to flip that bad boy around. You don't have to fold it in half. You know, you do the old fold with the pillow. You don't have to do that with this pillow. You can toss it in the washer or dryer, and you can do that without fear that you're ruining it. Nope, it's made to do that. It's got a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. So even if you say, okay, Cameron, I'm going to try the pillow. You've been talking about this damn pillow. I'm going to get it. And then you do, and you say, I don't know. I'm kind of all right with my other pillow. Send it back. They'll give you your money back. But I don't think you're going to have to do that. I really don't. You get a special offer right now. Go to MyPillow.com for 50% off. Click on the 4-pack special. Enter the promo code 979ESPN. You'll get 2 MyPillow premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows for half off. Go to MyPillow.com. Click on the 4-pack special. Enter the promo code 979ESPN. Or if you want, you can give them a call. 800-944-6596. 800-944-6596. Just be sure to use that promo code. Save you some money, all right? 979ESPN. Now, that is obviously an advertisement. That's me endorsing My Pillow because I like them. This, too, is something that's great. I want you to help the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. They're going to help local kids, so you're helping them help others. The CP is joining Boys Town of North Florida to help collect school supplies. We know what time of year it is, everybody, and not everybody has all that they need, and especially kids in foster care. That's true. I know that firsthand from having worked in the system a long, long time ago. And, it can be embarrassing for a kid. Could be tough, right? I've seen that too. So if you can help give supplies to kids in foster care, wouldn't you do it? I think you would. The Corner Pocket will be a donation collection center until a week from today. So Friday, August the 17th. Anything school related, so from glue sticks to backpacks, is greatly appreciated, okay? Stop by anytime through next Friday. The CP opens up at 11 a.m. each day at 2475 Appalachia Parkway next to the Earth Fair there. Thanks for helping Boys Town of North Florida. And I would just add to that it is. It's a desperate situation. My wife works in the school system, and I wasn't aware, blissfully, of how many kids don't get enough to eat, how many kids don't have proper clothing, how many kids struggle with school supplies, and that really shouldn't be anybody, having to deal with that. I mean, kids don't ask for that. They're born into it. It's a tough deal.
Stories of kids bringing trash bags with their books in them. Come on.
Yeah, no.
We can do a little bit better, can we?
We can do a lot better, right? So I would just say this. And I'm telling you from personal experience, because I get it, man. You're busy with your own kids. You're busy with your own life. We all are. We're all burdened by whatever responsibilities we have day to day. It's easy. Things slip through the cracks. It's what happens. People can get lost in our system. It does happen. But if you have the means to do anything about it, when you're out buying your kids their new school supplies, just throw in an extra couple things. That's all it is. It doesn't mean anything to you and I. I mean, it's so easy to do. You and me, I'd throw in a backpack. Just, you know what? Somebody needs a backpack. I'll throw in an extra backpack. What? what's it, $20 you'll never remember spending. You won't. But that kid will now have a backpack and won't be made fun of.
Even if it's a ballpoint pen. I mean, seriously.
Whatever you can do.
It's
obviously, I get it. Whatever you can do. I mean, I'm not trying to shame you or anything. I'm just, whatever you're able to do it. And go by the corner pocket for the next week and drop off stuff if you can. It's well worth it. It's actually fun. One of the ways that you can avoid the weight of something like that, because it's weighty. When you think about it too long, it upsets you. But what you can do is make it fun, and I include the kids, my boys, with this. I'll say, hey, well, if you were getting one for a kid, what would you want him to have, or her? Come on, boys, what do you think is cool? You pick something out for me here. What would we get so and so? What if we're getting something for a 9-year-old girl? What would you get her? And they'll interact with you, and you're teaching great lessons, and it's just fun, and you're not so bogged down with the sadness of it all. You're having a good time while helping, and that's a good way to do it, because I have to make it fun, otherwise I get sad.
Well, you can also have fun because you can drop it off and then have a beer. There it is.
Well, imagine that.
Right?
You could drop that off and go, God, we live in a world where that happens. I need a beer.
Exactly right. Or try the sausage bites. They're tremendous there at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
And here are your probables as we head to the weekend. Let's fire it up. Let's go.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
The only time Tom is as short of patience as I am on a regular basis is when things don't work electronically, digitally, when things aren't working right with the board. That's the only time you are quick to get pissed, guy, which is rightfully so because time is of the essence.
Well, it's a radio show. We're trying to do a radio show around here. And I scrambled because I forgot about probables, so caught up in the school supplies discussion.
Right.
But I hit the button in time, and it didn't reward me.
I saw you hit the button. I know you did it on time.
So,
come on, man.
Let's go.
Yeah. Red Sox, Orioles. God, if you're an Orioles fan, you're thinking, really? We got to play this series? We got to play the Red Sox, do we? But it's baseball. You can win the series. Who knows? Nathan Eovaldi goes for the Red Sox. Dylan Bundy goes for the Orioles.
You know what that moment is like? Booting a ball off your chest in the infield and then making an incredible play to field it and fire across the diamond only to have the first baseman drop the throw right at his chest.
Yeah, that's not what we do.
Come on, man. Yeah, I know. I didn't play it perfectly, but that's by a step.
Catch the ball.
Catch the ball.
Catch the ball. What are we doing here? Rangers, Yankees, Mike Minor, and Masahiro Tanaka. I don't know if you saw Stanton's home run. It was the hardest hit ball of the season. Exit velocity of over 121 miles per hour. It was.
Did it count for two?
No, just the one.
Okay.
But it was hammered. It was hammered. Rays, Blue Jays, Blake Snell, Marco Estrada. We got the D-backs and the Reds, Clay Buchholz, Anthony DeScalfini. Twins, Detroit. Twins, Tigers. Irvin Santana, Jordan Zimmerman. We got the Mets and the Marlins. Zach Wheeler going for the Mets. Jose Arena going for the Marlins. Brewers, Braves. Freddie Peralta, Kevin Gossman. Indians, White Sox, Shane Bieber, Carlos Rodon. We've got the Mariners and the Astros, Mike Leake and Garrett Cole. Cole will be attempting to extricate himself from a 2-game losing streak, tragic as it is. We'll see if he can find his way. Cards, Royals, Austin Gomber. Is that his name? That guy's name is Austin Gomber? Is it Gomber or Gomber? Gomber? It's ridiculous. What a ridiculous name. Birch Smith goes for the Royals.
Birch Smith?
I think the Royals are filled with ridiculous people. It makes me laugh.
I don't know.
Birch Smith, nice to meet you.
Birch. Burke?
Fans are a big fan of the tree. Or the bush. What? Never mind.
Whoa.
Birch Smith.
Like the 70s in his house.
I'll do ya. I'm Birch Smith, going to make the debut in my I-70 series. Dodgers, Rockies, Kenta Maeda, John Gray. A's, Angels, Brett Anderson, Felix Pena. Were people just hairier in the 70s? Like, some of those pictures are absurd.
Yeah, Eugene Levy was the 70s, right?
What are we doing here? What is going on? I didn't even know that was possible. If you never cleaned up, I didn't think that was something that could happen.
Had to vacuum more in the 70s, you know?
Sweet
Like Robin
Jesus.
Williams and Eugene Levy walk into a bar.
It's just crazy. A's, Angels, Brett Anderson, Felix Pena, Phillies, Padres, Zach Eflin. Come on, Zach, I'm looking at you. Jacob Nick's going to go for the Padres, and my Buccos will close out the evening. Whoever the hell Clay Holmes is, he's starting for the Pirates tonight. He's recalled from AAA after a rough introduction to the rotation back in July. I don't remember it, but that's because he gave up a ton of runs, and I just dismissed him as we send him back down to the minors. He gets another chance tonight. Ugh. Luckily, we're facing Derek Holland. Who knows? And that's a look at those that shall reside on the bump. So I would ask you, how much of the golf? Corey's last shot.
For the last time.
Yeah, that's right. It gets moved way up.
Well, if the leaderboard has enough big hitters, the PGA would be the one. If I'm going to cut something out and not watch a ton of it, it would be the PGA or the four majors.
Right.
I mean, what's going on this weekend? What else you got going?
I'm watching it. I'm all in. I can't wait. Good times abound watching the PGA Championship. I got a feeling we're in for a doozy on a Sunday. There's going to be like 9 guys in this thing, including a couple no-names that were like, come on, man. Move out of the way.
What it does is it's a perfect breeding ground for those Ryder Cup promos.
I'm worried about the Ryder Cup. I don't like our form right now. I'm a little disconcerted.
Probably we're underdogs here.
A little bit. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Have a great weekend. Talk to you on Monday.